Blessings, blessings, everybody. Hey, 1QT. Hey, Lanice. I'm going to get everybody a chance to come in. I'm going to do a sound check, make sure my sound is good before we begin. I am so ready for this presentation. I have worked really hard on this presentation. I've been working on this presentation for weeks. So I am very extremely nervous, but I ask the Lord to use my body as a living sacrifice. Um, and that's all I can do is just share with you guys what was shown to me in the spirit as I was working on this presentation. But let me do a mic check, make sure you guys hear me before I just get to talking. Drop me a one if I sound clear. Drop me a two if I'm muffling or you guys hear an echo in the background or anything like that. I had to go in a different room where I can be away from my barking puppy. So mic check, 1 2 1 2. Drop me a one if I sound good to you guys. Okay, I see some ones. Good. Make sure there's no echoing. Make sure there's no echo. I'm gonna give everybody a time to come in. Hey Taylor May. Hey Juanita. Hey Staying Humble. Phoebe. Thank you for joining me today, you guys. I hope this wasn't it was kind of spirit of moment for me. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it today or tomorrow, but I do have something coming up on Friday that I'm gonna share with you guys towards the end of the presentation. So I wanted to go ahead and get this out the way. So therefore, Friday, I can actually prepare for Friday. Hey Denise, hey Angela, hey Lady B. Okay, I sound good to you guys because I want to make sure my voice is heard very clear. I want to make sure everything I'm saying will be clear to everybody. This right here is, and I know I say this every time I do a presentation, but for each presentation that I'm doing, it's always like a level up. It's like a different level that I'm going into. And so it's always a little bit more challenging for me. This right here was the most challenging for me. And not only that, it was really challenging because I had to put everything into one presentation. It was kind of like doing the Kanika video, but doing everything in one live, in one presentation. So that would be extremely challenging. When I've done other presentations, I've actually, got a chance to do maybe, well, Kanika's, I did like maybe 70 videos. Um, and I was actually doing them as I was still looking into the case. So everything, of course, may not be accurate. I'm looking into the case and doing videos, looking to the case, going live. When it came to Malia's, I did maybe 4 or 5 videos, and same thing. I was looking to the case, dropping videos. But this right here, I just took some time to look into this case, gather some information, pray and meditate. Before I went to sleep at night, I made sure to pray. I made sure to meditate before I dozed off. So therefore, the Lord will speak to me in a dream and show me signs and symbols. And sometimes I didn't get everything that night, but in the morning, getting my children ready for school, I would have to stop what I'm doing and go write something down. So when I tell y'all the Lord is really working over here and He wants the information out, I really don't know what more to say. He really wants this information out, but it's bigger than just Kamille. It's bigger than Tanika. It's bigger than Malia. It's really bigger than that, you guys. And that's why I think a lot of us have a hard time gathering the information and presenting it to you guys. Like we have to understand. Let me know if you guys can hear my dog. I'm trying to go in a different room where he won't be a distraction to you guys. Hello, everybody that's just coming in joining us. But you have to be one with God. You have to be in tune with God. So I'm gonna start my presentation off just by giving you guys the word that the Lord shared with me as to why a lot of people can't understand what's going on today. Because I had people dropping me messages, emailing me like, Malika, what's going on? What is going on? We've been here before. We've been here with the Malia Davis case. We've been here before. What is going on? And so hopefully I have this answer for y'all today. Okay, I'm gonna try to give him a chance to stop barking. Hold on, guys. Oh, and also I will drop for anybody who's tuning in after the live broadcast. I will drop a timestamp inside the comments so you guys can know exactly where we began. So don't worry about coming and rewatching this video or rewatching it for the first time and have to sit through all the announcements and all the welcomings and everything. I actually have a timestamp so you can go directly to the presentation. But hello everybody. Hello Beverly. Hello, Mr. Miles. I see y'all. I'm so glad to have my mods here today with me. If you guys have not realized it yet, I am monetized. I decided to be monetized because I decided to actually do this full time. For me, this is more than just a job, it's a calling. And I decided to step away from a average 9 to 5, an average working schedule, and I decided to do this full time. So if you guys want to donate, if you guys want to share your token of appreciation or token of love with me, you can. But I will not be asking for donations. I will not even address this anymore. I just want to let you guys know where we are headed over here. 2020, I will be getting a soundproof studio room in my house that the Lord blessed me with, and more equipment so I can actually perfect my craft. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to you guys' attention. But like I said, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for monetary gain. I'm doing this because this is what I'm called to do. And I work these cases as if I'm working a 9 to 5. Okay. And I can't do anything outside of doing these cases and taking care of my family because this right here consumes me. Y'all, I'm cooking dinner and I'm working on the case at the same time. This consumes me. But I'm going to do whatever the Lord called me to do. And hopefully, he is pleased with my work and hopefully he'll take me higher and higher. So I just want to say blessings to everybody. Like I said, if you guys have any problem with the sound, let me know. We're going to get right to the presentation. I just wanted to give everybody a warm welcome and let you guys know how much I appreciate you all. Okay, I do not take having this platform for granted. I do not take you for granted. I do not take my ranches for granted. I love you guys, and I'm so thankful that you guys are here. I'm so thankful that you guys are here and y'all rocking with me. Thank you so much. One QT. And for my mods, please, once I go into the presentation, please acknowledge anybody that's new to the platform, anybody that donates, please acknowledge them for me because once I get caught into this thing, y'all know how I am. Once I get caught into this thing, I try to glance at the chat room, but at the same time, I'm fully focused on what I'm presenting. All right. So you guys, today we're going to look into Kamille Cupcake McKinney case. And like I said, this is deeper than what the news presented. I went on an emotional roller coaster. And those that's in my Facebook group, y'all know it was times I posted and I was crying because I didn't think that I would be able to get through this. I did not think that I would be able to make it to the end. But the Lord was so good to me. And he strengthened me, y'all, during those weak times. He really strengthened me. And I had some phenomenal people that was reaching out to me that was commenting in my Facebook channel, like, we got you. We praying for you. I have Brother Antoine Miles who always let me know, I'm praying for you, sister. I'm covering you. And I thank y'all so much for that because this is not easy. I have children too. It's not easy at all. I just wanted to have that warm heart to heart with you guys before I start to let you guys know, yeah, I might go through this with some confidence and boldness because I have already went through my emotional ride. I've already prayed. I've already cried. I've already screamed. I've already shouted. Okay, so right now I have to be the lioness the bold person, a bold woman that the Lord called me to be. These are not just April Thomas baby or Teresa Martin kids. These are our babies. These are our babies. And I have to be bold and do what God called me to do for him, for the kingdom, and for these babies. So I don't care about any negative comments. Y'all, if y'all see some distractions, get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Either you're going to listen and you're going to learn. I definitely don't mind anybody conversing with me because I may not know everything. I may mess some stuff up. But I'm trying to give you guys everything that I have and everything that I feel and everything that I saw in the spirit. I will be delivering it to y'all today. So let's get to this presentation. When I tell y'all it's deep, it's deep. And by the time y'all we finish with this presentation, it will be no doubt in y'all mind that this baby was sacrificed right along with a lot of other children and other cases that we've looked into. I'm going to prove that to y'all today. If anybody want to challenge me, go ahead and drop a 2 and it's on. Let's get it. And please have patience with me. Y'all know sometimes I will screw some stuff up, so have patience with me. Let's get it. Let me know if my puppy is being too loud, guys. Taking a deep breath. You know, Antoine Miles, you know, it's deep. It's deep. It's deeper than what people, may see or might hear. It's deep. Okay, you guys? And I'm going to try to lay out everything for y'all. Everything. This baby was not just taken from a birthday party. That was the narrative that they gave us. And I'm going to try not to jump ahead of myself, but I'm going to paint the picture for you guys and I'm going to go through everything. And again, welcome to everybody that's here. I seen Huggy. Hey, Huggy. Have a long time no see. Welcome to everybody that's here. Let's get to it. And if I'm moving too fast, just let me know. I'm glancing at the chat room as well. Okay, so here's my disclaimer. Head to my disclaimer up. Head to put up my disclaimer. Okay, drop me a 1 if you guys see the disclaimer. If everything is, yeah. And the people that's saying, that's commenting is really deep. They're inside my Facebook group, and we've been talking about this case, and I've been just dropping some crumbs and just giving them some eye-opening revelations. So they can contest to it. It's definitely deep. It's definitely deep. Okay, drop me a 1 if you guys can see the screen if everything is good. This is actually, I feel like, the deepest one. And I don't even want to compare this to others, but this was actually real challenging for me, y'all. And it was real, oh my God, I was on the emotional roller coaster. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. So one thing that I wanted to bring to you guys, like I said, it's just a few clips that the Lord really shared with me that he wanted me to share with you guys. And it's basically the old order versus the new world order. And I wanted to share this with you guys because I want you guys to know, just as there was an Old Testament and a New Testament that followed, there's also old times and an old world and an old order within this world. Some may call it the good old days. A lot of us call it the good old days. That's the old times, okay? Now there has come new times with the new world order, with new bills and laws to follow. Most cannot understand what's going on today. This is the reason why a lot of people cannot understand what's going on today in these times, because their mind reflects the old order of things. They have become accustomed to living in the old, which is why God say, be not conformed, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. In the new world order, there's a new generation, there's new laws being passed, there's even a new way of worshiping and sacrificing that's right in front of us. Now, I'm not saying that the new will always be acceptable or would always be comfortable with our spirit. However, renewing your mindset will not only have you not ignorant but it also will have you knowing what's good and acceptable unto the Lord. Okay, we have to constantly be transforming ourselves by renewing our minds. A lot of us cannot understand what's going on today, what the Lord showed me, because I prayed for you guys. I prayed for everybody. I say, Lord, how come a lot of people cannot see what it is you showing me? And he brought to my attention they have to renew their minds. So everybody is so accustomed to the old life, and they want to go back to the good old days, and they want to, revisit history. But he wants your mind to constantly be transformed. He wants your mind to constantly be renewed, so you will not be ignorant to what's going on today, and you will know what's good and acceptable unto the Lord. The New World Order is a sign of the end time. I think I skipped something. I did. I skipped plenty. Hold on. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. The Lord said there will be signs and wonders that the end has come. Those who are watchmen will know that the end is near. And that's why I wanted to build a platform full of watchmen. Okay, my Facebook group is called the World Watchers. I wanted to build a platform where not just me, but I had other watchmen, people that was watching in the natural and understood the signs and times in the spiritual and understood the word of God, because we are the world's watchmen. Okay, what we're seeing on the earth today is living proof that his word is indeed true. Prophecy is unfolding right before our eyes. God's prophets are sounding the alarm. The enemy is running rampant because he knows his time is short. What we've been experiencing is a 7-year attack on the saints, on the church, just as God warned. This is a spiritual warfare, folks. Here is what we're seeing and what we will see more of. I posted this before on my Facebook page just so you guys can be aware of what we're seeing and I posted this months ago, way before this case right here. I said we will be seeing more body snatchers, gang stalking, sex and human trafficking, organ harvesting, gendercide, race war, civil war, missing children, mysterious murders, murder by numbers, child predators, unnatural relationships, transsexual humans, synthetic humans, shape-shifting human reptiles, and the increase of technology. This is proof that the end is near. Okay, I put here all roads leads to a sign that leads to another road. And I had to write this down because I have a lot of people that say, Malik, I can't really mess with you because you be reaching. You reaching. And my answer to them is you can't reach as far as I can reach because you're missing a sign. I'm on a journey. Whenever I look into these cases, God takes me on a road. Okay, and as I'm on a road, I see one sign that leads to another road, and in that road, I see another sign that leads to another road. So my roads connect because my signs connect. So I can reach from point A to point Z with everything connected. The reason why I'm reaching to you or you can't actually connect the dots because you're missing a sign. You're missing a sign. And I also wanted to add, because I don't know, I think I might have took it out this presentation, but I also want to add too, as far as we're renewing your mind, the Lord said that he wants to give you guys information. He wants to make sure you guys are caught up with everything that's going on today. But he will not pour new wine into an old wine. He will not pour new wine into an old wine bottle. He's not going to do it. So your mind needs to constantly be renewed, constantly transforming. Okay, if you want to understand what's going on in this new era, this new world order, you have to get rid of that old wine bottle so he can fill you up with new information, new creativity, new ideas, a new destiny, a new journey, a new path, new information. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Okay, so the purpose of today's live, in this presentation, we will expose a satanic occult symbolism, numerology, murder by numbers, which we all know is murder by numbers. We will expose agendas, satanic rituals, and new laws. By the end of this live, you will experience a paradigm shift. The Lord told me that. I didn't say that. The Lord told me by the end of this live, they will experience a paradigm shift. Let me start off by answering this question, by answering some questions that the world wants to know. Was this a sacrificial, ritualistic murder? The answer to that question is yes. Was this a pre-orchestrated event by Alabama's government with a deep, dark, hidden agenda? The answer to that question is yes. Was this story delivered to us in the form of a fake story for the purpose of mind control, fear tactics, propaganda? The answer to that question is yes. Okay, so I'm gonna play a quick video for you guys. I'm gonna start this presentation off by playing a quick video, and I'm gonna let somebody else speak to you guys and show you guys what this is all about. And I'm gonna go from there. And we may seem like we all over the place, but I tell y'all it's worth you guys just having patience and paying attention to everything. Y'all won't regret it. Okay? So I'm gonna play this video, but I'm gonna stop it because I don't want to play everything that I screen shared right away. It's the purpose for me doing this. Okay, can y'all see the Facebook page? Drop me a one if y'all can see it. Okay, I see it popped up. All right, so I want you guys to listen to this pastor that preached at Kamille Cupcake McKinney's funeral. I just have a short clip of what God pointed out to me that I want to share with you guys, okay? We got to move from how she died and understand why she died. I ain't got no help, but that's all right. We serve a God deal with numbers, not cards, but numbers. Watch this. Can I just tell her story? I can't tell it like y'all, but I'm gonna tell it like I know it. But I want you to see Kamille Cupcake McKinney's story. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this now. Watch this. If you look at, she lived for 3 years. Three is the number of perfection. Oh God. Oh. Now if you look at Camille's name, I don't know if anybody took time to look at it, but when you look at Camille's name, I want you to break her name down. K-A-M-I-L-L-E. That's 7 letters. 7 is the number of completion. Come here. Come here. Come here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. When you look at Cupcake, Cupcake, that's 7 letters. 7 is the number of completion. Wait a minute. Come here. When you look at her last name, McKinney, McKinney, that's 8. 8 is the number of new beginning. Okay, are you guys with me? Let me know if you guys are with me. Drop me a one. Did anybody understand what he was saying? Let me know if you guys understood what he was saying. He was basically telling us we serve a God that deal with numbers, okay? Because that's the God that he serves. He serves a God that deal with numbers. I serve a God that deal with worship, okay? But he serves a God that deal with numbers. So if it's okay, I mean, he preached the numbers, right? So I can spill the numbers to you guys then too, right? Okay, so let's look at some numbers. I decided to do this first because whenever I start my presentations off looking at numbers, some people are so confused and they say, Malika, I just can't get with the numbers. But yet, some of these same people are sitting up under pastors. Hello. Some of these same people are sitting up under pastors who look at numbers and who serve a God of numbers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at some of these numbers and we're going to expose what type of case it is that we're looking at. Thank you, Pastor, for being a wolf in sheep clothing that you are and running your mouth. Because now maybe people will believe in a number. So as we was watching that video, we caught some screenshots of the pastor that performed at Kamille's funeral. We caught some screenshots. I don't know if you guys seen that, but his hands was moving while he was talking. Go back and replay the funeral. Go back and replay the end of the funeral where he's actually preaching, and you'll notice that his hands was talking just as well as he was talking. Okay? And I have at the top worker of Satan because that's what you're looking at. He's throwing up the horn. And I've explained this to you guys in other cases that when you see people doing this, this is considered the horn. You have the guy that started the Church of Satan over to your right. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what the pastor's doing. He's throwing up the horn. He's throwing up the horns. And I see somebody in the chat room mention, yes, murder by numbers. And I see somebody in the chat room also mention whether or not he is a Mason. And that's definitely also in my presentation. He's definitely a Mason. And they compared it to the number of the color of purple. Sure thing. But I want you guys to see these screenshots that I actually caught of him while he was preaching. He's throwing up the Baphomet, the horns, the goat horns. Okay, we have another screenshot. Okay, and I don't know if I show or spoke to you guys about this before, but you guys should know the okay hand gesture. The okay hand gesture represents the eye of Horus. And I actually have shown it to you guys before because a lot of times they will put the okay over their eye, symbolizing the eye of Horus. So when you actually watch that part, when he's preaching, he's throwing up the goat, he's throwing up the eye of Horus, and he's throwing up other hand signs, all while he's preaching right in front of people's face. Because he served a God of numbers, signs, and symbols. Okay, this right here is the okay side, the eye of Horus. It also symbolizes 666. This is the reason why it's a satanic hand gesture. And I'm not saying for just somebody to say, okay, I got you. Okay, these people are actually workers of Satan. So when they throw up the okay sign, they're actually throwing up the sixes. And I'm going to prove to you guys that's exactly what he was doing. Don't count me out right now. I'm going to prove to you guys that was exactly what he was doing. He was throwing up the sixes. Yes, Queen. Yes. Okay, so I got a Walt Disney logo in case you guys don't know. The Walt Disney logo is a 666. It's 666 seen inside the Walt Disney logo. For those that don't know, it's in the beginning of the word Walt. It's in the I of Disney, and it's at the end of the Y. Okay, so you have the 666 that's inside Walt Disney logo. What was Cupcake wearing? What was Kamille Cupcake wearing? And also, I'm gonna show you guys too how Disney represents the sixes. If you guys look all the way at the bottom, you guys will see who doing the three sixes over the eyes. You see Mickey Mouse. I think I'm kind of faster than my presentation, so I'm trying to make sure you guys can, I can kind of stay with everything. Okay, so you see Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is Walt Disney. Walt Disney represents the 666. Okay, you see him all the way at the bottom. Let me turn this thing off because that's probably why you guys can't see it. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so you guys see Mickey Mouse at the bottom throwing up the sixes. Okay, because Walt Disney represents the 666. It's demonic. It's also child pedophile. A lot of child predators prey on young ones. Excuse me. That's signed to Disney. I know you guys already had that knowledge right there. Okay. Cupcake was wearing a Minnie Mouse shirt representing Disney and 666. Okay, you guys are with me? Okay, let's get it. Okay, the first thing that I saw was Kamille McKinney's Amber Alert. And I tried to point out to everybody, even inside the Facebook groups, I said, y'all, I see 666. 666 is plain, it's very clear, it's right here on the Amber Alert. But see, they think a lot of us is sleep. They think a lot of us is slow. We dumb. I mean, I'm telling y'all because I'm like, only a few of us actually saw it. And I'm gonna break it down for you guys so you guys can also see the 666 that they gave us in the Amber Alert. 666 numerology, and I got in quotations, the mark of the beast found on the flyers. Okay, Kamille Cupcake McKinney was 3 years old. She was 3 inches tall. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6. According to them, she weighs 60 pounds. Now, we know no 3-year-old weighs 60 pounds. We know that that was a lie. And I even had some people coming to the Facebook group saying, well, you might be right because we know she didn't weigh 60 pounds. Why did they lie to us? They lied to us because they needed the 666. Okay, the date she went missing, if you add up all the numbers of the date she went missing, you'll get 16. There's your third 6. So not only was she wearing, you have to pay attention to the signs and symbols and numbers, y'all. Not only was she wearing Disney, which represents 666, you see 666 found on her Amber Alert flyer. I didn't notice that, Miss Me. Okay. How can she even be 3 inches tall? They made all this stuff up, Leah, because they wanted the 666. They wanted the 666. Okay, there's more. So this right here told me right away that this is a murder by numbers. This told me right away that this was another case of murder by numbers. And I've seen this before. We've seen this before. I shared this with y'all before. So I knew exactly where to look. Thank God. This time I knew exactly where to look. Okay, and remember what he said. He said, we serve a God of numbers who deal with numbers. The pastor broke down her name. So let's look at that. I want you guys to pay attention to it. Pay attention to her name. Okay, her name altogether, Kamille Cupcake McKinney, equals the number 22. She was last seen on 10/12. 10 plus 12 is 22. She was found on 10/22. And I forgot to add her birthday. She was born on the 22nd of April. I'm going to sit that there for y'all for a minute. I'm trying to make sure that my slide is catching up with everything I'm saying. Well planned out ahead of time, no coincidence. Exactly, Antoine Miles. And we're going to prove it today. We're going to prove it today. Okay, so we have code 22. And this was the first time that I really seen a case and dug into a case where I saw 22s all over it. And I even went to one of my, yes, go, look at staying humble. And I even went to one of my people, all in the names. I think all the names is in the chat room. I said all in the name. Help me figure this out. Help me figure this out. This number 22, I'm seeing it all in the case. The letters combined equals 22. She was last seen on 10/12. 10 plus 12 equals 22. She was found on the 22nd. Her birthday is April the 22nd. Okay, so the pastor was really telling on himself. For all those that really is awakened and catch it, he was really telling on himself. Okay, so just as Stan Humble said, 22 is the number of a master builder. Okay, so before we noticed in cases where it was a Masonic type of orchestrated event, we saw the 33. We saw the 33 because they were on the 33rd level. But now, for me, this is my first time actually uncovering the master builder. 22 represents a master builder. 11, the double, okay, pay attention to this. 11 represents the old soul, that person who just came into consciousness, that person who just decided to walk with the Masonic Brotherhood or the Eastern Star Sisterhood. Okay, that person that just came into consciousness. That's the best way I can explain it. The 22 is a master builder. Okay, someone who is basically on the next level above from the old soul. 33 is once you are 22, you are a student. You are basically a student and you learning everything you can learn because you're looking to get to that next level where you can actually be a teacher, a master. Okay. All right, so I just put a little quick screenshot in here. There are three double-digit numbers in the study of occultic numerology because that's what it is. It's occultic numerology, which garners special attention in order to understand their place in ritual energy work. These are numbers, I'm sorry, these are called master numbers. They are 11, 22, and 33. Added to this number, and which we won't need to know them, but yeah, you got the double fours, double fives, double six, double sevens, double eights, and double nines. Okay, but the one that we need to really pay attention to is somebody attached to this case was a master builder. Number 22 is what we were seeing. Okay, so I also have the biblical meaning of the number 22. The biblical meaning of the number two, according to God, according to God's word, the biblical meaning of the number 22 is double 11s, which symbolizes disorder and chaos. And if you guys remember, yes, and it also equals 66, Antoine Miles. The 22 also equals 66 if you look at her name. And actually, we got the 666, Brother Miles, if you consider her name, the fact that she was born on the 22nd. And if you also look at her death date and the date she was found, you have all three sixes. Like I said, I actually should have put in her birthday as well under her name, so you would actually have all three sixes. So according to the Bible, the number 22 represents disorder and chaos. And y'all know we've been talking to y'all about orchestrated chaos. Orchestrated chaos. So God says the number 22 is disorder, dysfunction, disorganization, chaos. Okay, the number 22 combined with the three sixes was our first clue that this case was a satanic, Masonic, ritualistic event. Now, if I'm moving too fast for some of y'all, let me know, and I'll slow down or I'll go back because I want to make sure everybody is on one accord. Okay, and remember I brought to you guys now 911 and 711. I brought you guys 711 and 911, and before we were looking at this stuff and not really having a lot of knowledge when it came to that because I'm not a caustic. I didn't have a lot of this information. It was like God was showing me as I was going along and looking into these cases. And we've seen 711 and now in 911 all over all of these cases that I presented to y'all. If anybody is new here, you guys can go back to my old videos and the same thing I'm showing you guys here, I've said this before. I've shown before. Okay, and we also found it here all over this case. Okay, 711 and 911. Hold on, let me go back. 711 and 911 are clear indicators of orchestrated chaos. And that's what I've spoken before, that it was considered orchestrated chaos. However, they both have deeper meaning to them. And so I wanted to know more about the 711 and why do they use the 711 as much as they do and they attach it to these cases. So I'm going to give you guys a definition and a clear understanding of the 711. Code 711 means gender side. 911 means sacrifice. So in this new world order, our girls are being targeted. If you guys look at a lot of these missing person cases and you guys notice that majority of these cases are females, are little girls, it's because our girls are being targeted. It's a means of gendercide. It's a part of gendercide. Our girls are being targeted. This is not just something that's just going on, that's just happening. No, they are purposely being targeted. Satan is against procreation. So what do he do to stop humanity from creating? What do he do? He killed off the seeds of the young girls. He takes the seeds of the woman. That's why the attack on a church is more on the woman and the seed of the woman. Oh, thank you, Jesus. What did God tell us in the beginning in Genesis? He said, I will put enmity between a woman and a serpent. Her seed, oh, thank you, Jesus, and his seed. He specifically said to us, the woman and her seed. That Satan will go to war. Thank you, Jesus. I just got that. He specifically said that Satan will go to war with the woman and her seed. She will stomp his head, but he will bruise her heels. He specifically said that to us in Genesis. The woman and her seed. Are y'all following me? Exactly, Sandra. Women give life. We breathe life into this. We bring life into this world. So the 711, the genocide, is an attack on women, on girls. You take away all the girls, there is no future. Which brings me to something that I wanted to mention to y'all. Yesterday, I was in a car with my daughter. We was going to pick up some food. And I asked her one question, the same question that all parents ask their children or have asked their children. I said to her, what do you want to be when you grow up? Y'all, her answer to me was deep. She said to me, a woman. So I didn't get it right away. I started laughing. I'm like, what do you mean a woman? And she said, I just want to be alive, Mama. Our children have no more hope for the future because they right now, instead of saying that I want to be a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, I just want to be alive, Mama. I just want to see the day where I can become a woman. My baby is 11 years old. My mouth fell to the floor when she said that to me. My laugh turned into a frown. I couldn't believe an 11-year-old said to me, I just want to be alive to see a future, Mama. True story. True story. What is gendercide? Gendercide is a gender selective mass killing. It was first used by Mary Ann Warren, gendercide became to be known as the deliberate extermination of persons of a particular sex or gender. Gendercide occurs in many ways, most notably female infanticide and maternal morality. And also, guys, think about the law that was passed, I want to say in either 2017 or 18, where you can terminate a full term of pregnancy, where it became legal to terminate, for a woman to terminate a full term pregnancy. That's law. Your baby can be due any day and you can go get an abortion. That's gendercide. The attacks that we seeing on these young babies today, that's gendercide. Notably more females, that's gendercide. That represents the code 711. 711 is gendercide. When you see 911 attached to these cases, that is a sacrifice. Just like the 9/11 when the Twin Towers fell. I've gave that as an example before, but I'm going to say it again for all those who are new. Although there was a massive killing, the way it was presented to us was in fake news. They presented to us as fake news, but there was a sacrifice, a massive sacrifice done on September the 11th, 9/11. And we still see code 9/11 to this day attached to these cases, as well as 7/11, because now we're living in a time of gendercide, where they're getting rid of the young girls, the females. Okay, so what I've seen, and I had to really spend some time with God when it came to this, because, like I was telling Antoine Miles, I was saying, Brother Miles, I have to really get over being judged by the world, because the only person I should care about pleasing and judging me is the Lord. And I know when I present these three key players, I will be judged. There will be some who have not been following me for a while that's going to be leaving nasty comments on my channel. Okay, but I have to really get to a place, and I'm actually, I think I'm there. I think I'm there, praise the Lord. I think I'm there. I'm at a place where I really don't care about how the world perceives me, because I was literally created for his purpose, to do an assignment here on this earth. That's the reason why he saved me all those days. He could have let me slip and fall into the hands and the snares of the devil. So I can care less about what anybody say about me. Just to let you know now, when I expose this right here, you can save your comment, because all I'm going to do is just remove it and act like I didn't even see it. 7/11 and 9/11 marks three key players in this case. I'm going to show it to you. It marks three key players in this case. We got Patrick Stallworth. If you look at Patrick Stallworth, look at the time. You can just Google this photo, okay? The timestamp never changes. The surveillance footage, the time on the surveillance footage do not change. Okay, you have 9 over there in the corner. You add up the 1 plus the 2 plus the 4 plus the 1 plus the 3, because it's 12:04, 13 seconds. You got the number 11. 4 plus 3 is 7. Add 2 more is 9. Add 2 more is 11. So seen on a surveillance footage of Patrick Stallworth is 9/11. Drop me a 1 if you guys could see it. Right in plain sight. I'm going to try to move through this thing slowly, because there's so much to expose. It's a lot to expose. And actually, we're going to be here for maybe to like 3, going on 4 o'clock, you guys. I'm just going to let y'all know right now, because this presentation have like at least, I think, 150 slides that we have to go through. Okay? All right. Another key player, April Thomas. We see the 7 and 11 on April Thomas' post, the same post that she made on October the 12th, the evening that Cupcake was kidnapped. Okay, if you guys look at the time, look at the bottom. The first post that she made was at 1:26. Okay, and we have October the 12th at 1:26. So 6 plus 2 is 8, plus that 1 is 9. And you have the 11th from October the 12th. Okay, 9/11. If you go to the top, the post that she made was at 7:56. That's a clear 7/11. 5 plus 6 is 11. On the other side of that 11, what do you see? 7. You have a 7/11. And if you want to, you can add that 2 right there and have a 9/11. So in her post at 1:26, you have a 9/11. In her post at 7:56, you have a 7/11 and also a 9/11. Drop me a one if you guys can see this. Mm, my slash skipped. Okay. Another 7/11 and 9/11. If you guys go to Dominique's interview, I believe this was his first interview, you guys will see 7/11 and 9/11. You see a 6662, Antoine Miles? I didn't catch that. Okay, so we have another 7/11 and 9/11. If you look at these interviews, let's look at the one with the apartment number 608. Okay, because the news made sure to show apartment 608. You add the 608 to the 13. Okay, 8 plus 3 is 11. 6 plus 1 is 7. You have 7/11. A clear 7/11. Let me know if you guys see that. If you look at the other side, and what the news did was they spoke to him and they moved their camera and they showed the door, which is next door. And I've never seen an apartment with the number that's right next door to each other, and it's a 608 and a 556. Like, what happened to, like, why is it such a big gap? But I don't know how the apartments is made, so I can't judge that. But anyway, the camera slid over and I caught the 556 in the corner. If you add the 556 to the 13, what do you have? 6 plus 3 is 9. 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11. You have a 9/11. So in Dominique's interview, in one interview, the news flashed for us the 7/11 and a 9/11. For anybody who cannot see it, drop me a 1 or a 2, and I'll make sure I point it out to you guys. Yes, they communicate with each other. We spoke about this before, you guys. They communicate with each other, with other occult leaders, other people that's in the brotherhood and the sisterhood. They know about this stuff. This stuff is supposed to be kept secret, and a lot of a lot of the people in the world don't know about it. They don't know about it. Okay, but this is a lot of their way of communicating with each other, letting each other know what type of story this is. This is a planned agenda. Okay, so like I said, you have the 608 plus the 13, which is 7/11. On the other side, you have 556 plus 13, which is 9/11. Now, I just showed you guys 7/11 from the surveillance footage. No, that was 9/11 from the surveillance footage of Patrick at the store. I just showed you guys two statuses that April Thomas posted on the day Cupcake went missing. That time equals 7/11 and 9/11. Y'all, come on now. This is not a coincidence. I rebuke anybody that come on here and say, oh, that's just a coincidence. They showing you guys gendercide, sacrifice. They showing you in plain sight. Okay, three key players are April Thomas, Dominique McKinney, and Patrick Stallworth. One or possibly all three are master builders. One of these people, or possibly all three of these people, are master builders. I believe Dominic is the ringleader. I believe Dominic is the master builder, and this was his sacrifice, y'all. And that's what I'm going to get down. I'm going to break to you guys today, and I'm going to have much receipts behind it. So anybody that's ready for the truth, to hear you stand. Stay here for the truth. If you want to continue to live in darkness, you want to continue to live in a lie, exit. Because your darkness do not hurt me. I know where I'm going when this life is over. But if you're ready for the truth to be revealed to you, by all means, you're welcome to stay. I believe Dominique is the ringleader. He is the master builder. It was his sacrifice. And he pulled in other players. And I know everybody want to know, what about her? What about Quintessa Jackson, otherwise known as Derica Brown? What about her? And we definitely could see she's satanic. You know, we didn't already talk about the one-eye symbolism. She have it all over her page. So we definitely know, that she's down for the occult. We definitely know that she has been used by Satan. But let me tell you guys what I believe the Lord showed me when it pertains to this person. This person is the faithful, unintelligent, uninformed scapegoat. The Bible might refer to her as the fool. If any of y'all are familiar with the word of God, I believe the Bible will call her the fool. She is the faithful, the unintelligent, uninformed scapegoat. Okay, in an interview with Derica's cousin, which we did maybe a couple of weeks ago, we learned that this person is faithful and loyal to the wrong types of men. We also learned that she isn't that intelligent. Hence, she forgot the A. Okay, she went to go get her name changed and forgot the A. So we learned that she wasn't, that she's not that smart. And we also learned that she suffers from mental illness and battles with the hard drug addiction. I do not believe the entire plan was disclosed to this person, nor was she aware of how far up the ladder goes. She will not be mentally capable of grasping all the information or trustworthy enough to hold on to this information. They told her what they needed her to know, what they wanted her to know, and what she needed to do at the proper time. I need to make sure you all are following me. She was under a love spell with the wrong man. She was manipulated by words and driven by greed. She went along with the plan because of her criminal background and psychological history of mental illness. Because of her criminal background and psychological history of mental illness, she was the perfect scapegoat. And I believe these are the type of women who allow people to use them. Men to use them and get them in trouble. Have y'all ever seen some type of woman that y'all or friend that y'all just say she dumb? She let that dude do whatever to her. She let that dude just use her. That dude just got her doing that. I mean, he driving the car. He ain't got no license. This is the type of woman that we dealing with. I believe she played along because just like other women, she was love drugged, manipulated, and she was also driven by greed, which will make her the perfect scapegoat. Okay, so the colors, you guys should know by now, we have always pointed out the colors. The colors pink and black and the colors red, white, and blue. Drop me a one of you guys remember, because like I said, there might be some new people in the chat room who's not really up on the colors. But y'all can go back to some of my old videos. I have always pointed out the colors. We've always seen the pink and black. We've always seen the red, white, and blue. Pink and black represent fake news. Now, I'm not saying that this baby was not sacrificed, because she definitely was. But the news that was presented to us was fake, just as in 9/11. 9/11 presented the news of a terrorist attack. And when it was actually our own government that planned 9/11. You get what I'm saying? And yes, people died behind it. But the way it was presented to us as fake news. And we've seen this before because the key players are always in what? Pink and black. Let's get it. The scapegoat is always in red, white, and blue. We've seen this before. I think the brick represents martial law. That's what I pointed out before, Miss Me. When I looked at other cases, I've noticed that the brick normally, like the project, because I believe when martial law comes through, and we have actually seen them. We've seen martial law. We've seen the National Guards come through looking for children or helping out with cases. We've seen it. And I believe when it hit, it's going to hit either Chicago or somewhere in the project, in the what they deem as the hood. Martial law gonna come to the hood. The National Guard's gonna come to the hood first. Red and white also means sacrifice. Yes, Leslie. Yes, and we do got men out there like that too, Noah. We do. We do. Okay, but this thing is bigger than the key players, y'all. This thing is bigger than just the key players. Okay, and I also thought about that as well, Jennifer, as far as the gold hair. But a lot of times when we see the gold hair, is normally, they shave their hair bald and they dye it, blonde. So I don't know if she was like, I'm not down for the shaving of the hair, but I will throw some gold tracks in it, and I didn't really want to present that, as sexual information because I don't know. Like maybe she just like adding gold in her hair. But it's a good point, Jennifer. We have saw that before with individuals that will shave their hair bald and dye it blonde. Okay. So I said right here, guys, this thing is bigger than the key players. They just a puppet. They just a puppet. They are still students. They are still students to the teachers. Remember, they are master builders. 22. They are still students. This thing is much bigger than them. I'm about to play another part of the pastor's video, and I'm gonna let the pastor explain to y'all how big this thing is. Listen up. And see what I'm doing, you guys, I'm basically piggybacking off of what the pastor said. So can't nobody say, Malika making all this up and she going crazy. No, what he said in the beginning. We serve a God who's been, he broke down the name. He broke the stuff down, right? And I'm just extending it a little bit more. I'm just stressing it out a little bit more. I'm just clarifying it. I'm just confirming everything he said. Let's go back to the pastor. Yes, Kiana.
Why did it take 10 years? Why did it take 10 years? They couldn't find her on 5. They couldn't find her on 6. It had to be 10 because 10 is the number of government and order. All right. If you watch what Crime Stopper said, if you watch what the FBI said, they said this murder, this kidnapping, making us look at how we look for folks. She brought order to the government as a result of her life.
Okay. If you guys caught that, what the pastor said is,
Well, a lot of people
oh, hold on.
in town are very.
The pastor says she brought order to the government. This thing is about order and government. It makes them look at the way they look at folks. And I'm explaining all that to you guys. All of that. That's why I said I really wish people wouldn't leave and they just stick around. Even if you're not really feeling what we saying so far, this pastor basically laid out everything. But people in his church was so asleep. Y'all, I wish I could have just jumped through the TV and just shook them. Because they back there like, yes, Lord, praise the Lord, praise God. And they have no idea what this man was actually saying. They have no idea what was actually coming out his mouth. She brought order to the government. Per the pastor, I just said that. Cupcake brought order, government, and order. Literally speaking, order out of the chaos. Literally speaking, that they create, right? Okay. If you guys also notice, they lit up the city hall in the color purple. Okay, this is the city of Birmingham government. We've seen this before in the Malia Davis case. You guys can remember they lit up the city hall in pink, right? Because that was the transgender agenda. Okay, this right here is a different agenda, and it comes with. Matter of fact, I don't want to jump too ahead of myself, but I'm just gonna go ahead and read this right here. He said, tonight in memory of Kamille Cupcake McKinney, City Hall is adorned in purple, her favorite color. Okay, purple, her favorite color. They lit up the building. This is the government. This is the government doing this. The government planned agenda because it's to bring order. And I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what order is to bring. A new order to the government, state legislation passing new laws in Alabama and bills in dedication to Kamille. So they passed the new laws in Alabama. Now they're coming out with a new bill in dedication to Kamille. They need to create these events in order to have a purpose or a reason behind pushing these laws. If y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, so in June 11, 2019, Alabama governor signs a new law requiring chemical castration for some sex offender parolees. I wanted to bring this, to y'all attention because this was like a big wow to me. Okay, and the thing is about this, they signed a law that sex offenders be chemically castrated before releasing them on parole. Now, this law have nothing to do with increasing the time served for sex offenders. It's about releasing them on parole, but requiring them to have a chemical castration prior to us releasing them on parole. And this was signed just months before this event. Okay, but get this, you guys. The law differs in that parolees are required to pay for the treatment. Listen to this. So those who are paroled are required to pay for the treatment. This is law in Alabama. They are required to pay for the treatment. However, if they cannot afford the treatment, they cannot be denied parole. How many parolees do you think that's going to be able to get off and say, I got thousands saved for a chemical castration? So what is the point of even having this law when you know that they won't be able to afford the treatment? So you're basically going to be letting people off. You're going to be letting sex offenders off, and you're going to let them off with the intent of them getting, or the requirement of them having a sexual castration that they can't afford. And even though they cannot afford it, you're going to end up saying, oh, we can't deny him parole just because he can't afford it. Let him out. So they're going to be flooding, they're going to be releasing sex offenders and just letting them onto our streets with the idea of them getting this surgery. But even when they say we can't afford this surgery, okay, no problem. Let them out. These are laws that they are passing, or that's one that they have passed. Then you also have a Pale City man started a petition for a Kamille Cupcake McKinney bill. Okay, Tim Bryant followed the Kamille Cupcake McKinney story Not like she's the only little girl that went missing and was found somewhere. But anyway, he followed her story and like people from all over the country. His petition asked for a federal law mandating apartment and housing complexes have working cameras to deter crime or help police solve abduction cases. So they want to add cameras all throughout the project, starting here in Alabama, because I believe it's going to end up being a statewide law. And their excuses is we can prevent crimes like this from happening in the future if we just add cameras. Who are you to say what section, what housing communities should be surveillance? Who are y'all to say that? Okay, but see, they're using this case right here as an excuse to pass this bill. This is the government plan agenda. In order for them to put cameras all throughout the project, they needed to have a bill. They needed to have a cause. Kamille was the cause. This is the effect. Now, we heard the pastor say it. He told us. She died to bring order to the government. Okay, as I said, they needed a cause for pushing this bill. Kamille Cupcake McKinney was the cause. They, quote unquote, they are them who represents the colors red, white, and blue, purple, and black and red. Think about what I said, you guys. They are the representatives, the ones who we see wearing the colors red, white, and blue, the color purple, and black and red. What colors do you see in this picture? You see the red, white, and blue, the purple, and the black and red. These are they. That's why I said this thing is bigger. It's bigger than just the key players. And a lot of people are on social media. You got a portion of people saying, oh, Dominic was involved. You got another portion of people saying, oh, Dominic wasn't involved, but the mother was involved. You got other people just trying to fry the scapegoat. And this thing is way bigger than them. Who is out there saying, wait a minute, this thing is a government planned agenda? They are involved. The red and black, the red, white, and blue, the purple. They are behind this because they want to push their laws and their bills on the people in the communities, and they need a cause to do so. I have the parents, the activists, the pastor, the chief of police, the mayor, and Birmingham's top officials, and the government, the FBI are all, and I'm not talking about everybody who works for the FBI, everybody who works for the government, everybody who works for Birmingham PD. But what I will tell you guys is if they're not a Masonic devil worshiper, worshiping elitist, then they will have to be considered a whistleblower or just going along with the agenda. Because you will maybe find a few good men in these offices, sitting in these positions. However, if they spill the things that they know, they will be considered a whistleblower. And a lot of times, once you go against the elite, excuse me, Lord, not sometimes, but all the time, if you go against these elitists, you will have to be out of career for the rest of your life. Do you guys? That's why I like to pray for the police, the good police officers. I like to pray for those in office who are actually good people, and I like to try to pull them out. I like to pray that they open their eyes and they come out of this. You know, because I believe that these people struggle with should I blow the whistle? Because or should I keep my mouth closed and be able to provide for my family? That's deep. Can you imagine having a top position, in something that you went to school for years, probably still paying student loans back on, and you sitting up under a whole corrupt system and not knowing and not feeling happy with going to work every day, keeping these elites secret, not knowing if you should blow the whistle and lose your job and won't be able to provide for your family? Cover these people in prayer. But 90% of them, I believe, are Masonic devil worshiping elitists, and they are all in on this, y'all. And these people are covering for Dominic and April. They don't cover for the parents. Early on, you had the mayor, saying, speaking before anything was even brought to the table, before this case was even looked into. We saying cover the parents, cover the parents, cover the family, cover the family. And I meant to have some screenshots of that too, but you guys can just look that up. I mean, early on in the case, these people have to cover for those who allowed their child to be a sacrifice for an agenda. Why do you think Brittany Bowen, for those that don't know who BB is, Malia Davis' mom, and Craig Davis, I did a lab on them and I exposed them. Why do you think that she walked with no problem? Because the parents who have given their child up for a sacrifice will be covered. That is their promise to them. Okay, I just got a quick screenshot of that. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I got a quick screenshot because I screenshot things that are relevant to what I'm looking into the presentation. So I'm just going to, kind of browse through this real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you guys want to see this on his Facebook page, but he said, I'm so sick of MFers who just want it to be me so bad. The FBI cleared me with no signs of owing anyone, no beef, nobody, none of that nature. So he spoke on the FBI. The FBI cleared me. Now let me go down a little bit. I can understand half of what he's saying. On this 24/7 with the chief of police, got me covered, and the mayor on my side. So I'll be like, F y'all. And this is the reason why a lot of these participants can move in confidence, because they know they are covered by the chief of police, by the mayor, by the city officials. They know they are covered. So that's the reason why they can move and they can say, screw y'all and everything y'all got to say, because I know I'm good. I am covered. I got the chief of the police and the mayor on my side. I don't even have to acknowledge the stuff that y'all saying on Facebook. None of that stuff gets to me. We've seen this before. We've seen key players. In the Kanika case, and these people continue to move forward, showing drugs, showing guns, and everything else on Facebook, and they was not at all a bit worried about nothing that nobody had to say, because they knew that they were covered. People question why purple when Kamille's favorite color was pink. We've heard this. We've seen plenty of statuses, but I just posted one in case anybody didn't catch it. This was posted by somebody. I don't know if she was a family relative or just, somebody who just been following the case. But she said, why is everyone remembering Cupcake in purple when her favorite color was pink and her favorite cartoon character was Peppa Pig? Her favorite cartoon character wasn't Minnie Mouse. Y'all taking pictures with her with Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse because it's the representation of something. Y'all are representing her in purple at the city hall. Y'all are lighting purple cupcakes, but her favorite color is pink. Somebody peeped it. And so I wanted to let you guys know that pink and purple combined also has a symbolic meaning, which we'll discuss later on in this presentation. So pink and purple together, it also has its own symbolic meaning. Because if you notice, they did not just discontinue or just, disown purple or disown pink. They actually use both pink and purple. And combine, like I said, you guys, when I'm on a journey, when I'm on this road, I stop at every sign. That lead me to another road. That leads me to another sign. That leads me to another road. So I need to make sure y'all with me. April is fully aware of this, which is why she approved of this. April gonna address it. She's gonna address it in one of her statuses. And I saw somebody comment on her status like, "Yo, baby ain't good and well under the ground, and you up here addressing the color. You talking about a color when you should be grieving and mourning. You talking about a color." She addresses it. They just buried Kamille on October the 27th. I mean, I'm just saying, how many of you guys, and I want to actually look into the chat room, how many of you mothers, after burying your daughter just a few days ago, will even be posting on Facebook, let alone talking about some colors? If it wasn't relevant, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for it. I want to see how many people actually. I want to see how many people actually be on Facebook just days after losing your child. Period. Or be on there posting about some colors. And I'm so sick of people saying, we all grieve different. Everybody grieves. These is your babies. These are your babies. That should right there should be your breaking point. If I'm strong in every area of my life, messing with my children is my breaking point. I'm literally on my knees. Lord, take me, Jesus. I can't take it. That was my baby. So please stop it with the everybody grieves differently. There's 7, 10 different stages of grieving. I don't want to hear it. Those are your babies. We grieved for her more, and we didn't go through 7 stages of grieving. We was grieving, weeping, crying, calling out the Lord, talking to each other like, what is going on? But the mama putting up laughing emojis, and y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? But anyway, April Thomas said it was never Purple Heart. Her favorite color was pink, so she addresses that. But she also said, all the ones who supported purple, I'm not mad. It's still respected. No love lost. Why does she even care? Because April herself knows that purple is a color that she has to respect. Because it is a color that, how can I put it? That is used by the elite. Purple don't just stand for royalty, people. It also stands for sacrifice. It don't just stand for royalty. Okay? So purple has different meanings, especially when you're dealing with elitists. They have different meanings. All right? So April said it's cool. Use pink and purple. I'm fine with that. Because it was already a part of their plan to use pink and purple. I'm going to show that to y'all. And the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Are y'all with me? And I'm doing my best to lay everything out today, you guys. This was really hard. This was really hard to work on. Thank you, that's why Miles. That's why I like y'all participating and helping me out. She got to stick with the script. Thank you. She got to stick with the script. So she can't go on her Facebook and say, y'all stop using purple. Her favorite color is pink. Are y'all following me? Because if I wasn't a part of the elite or the plan or the agenda, then I can say, y'all, my baby favorite color was blue. So let's lift up blue candles. Let's lift up blue cupcakes. Let's represent her in blue. Told the mayor or the mayor, can we represent her? If you're gonna light up the building, can we do it in blue? She has to stick to the script. She cannot go against that. That's why she said, yeah, y'all, her favorite color is pink. True that, because she probably had even addressed to her family members why they using purple rather than pink. So those that knew Cupcake, they're like, wait a minute, her favorite color is pink. But April could not say, y'all, let's not use purple no more. Let's stick with pink. No, she had to stick with the script. Oh, pink is 9/11. All righty. And what is purple? I want this purple 7/11. Okay, so y'all, this is a pedophilia agenda. And you guys know, if you guys been following me for a while, I will point out to y'all the agendas that is attached to these cases. In the case of Malia Davis, I pointed out to y'all it was a transgender agenda. You know, they buried her on 6ix9ine. We know and you know her favorite things was rainbow and unicorns. You know, and I also looked into the rapper 6ix9ine. We know that the rapper 6ix9ine like rainbows and unicorns. You know, and with other clues and other things that we looked into, we figured out this was a transgender agenda. Well, with this case right here, this is a pedophilia agenda or pedophile agenda, whatever you want, however you want to say it. Okay, along, like I said, along with other, excuses to pass certain bills and things like that, this is something also that stood out to me. This was a pedophilia agenda. Okay, so I'm gonna take y'all to this article real quick, and so we can take a look at that. And I'm gonna show you guys what they are up to and why they are pushing this pedophile agenda. And it's actually called the Pedophile Project, in case anybody want to look it up. Because I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just gonna kind of scan through it so you guys can get the picture. Whew. Okay, the website is called thefederalist.com. Make sure it pop up on the screen before I begin. Okay. Activists for normalizing pedophilia are on the move. Public acceptance of adult sex with children is the next domino poised to fall in identity politics. Now, remember, you guys, I just showed y'all a law that was passed where they would be setting sex offenders free. They would be setting them free upon them agreeing for this chemical castration. But even though you may not be able to afford it, we still cannot deny you getting out. Okay, so it's being sustained amongst many other things by a rapid sexualization of children in the media and in K-12 education. We cannot dismiss the campaign to legalize pedophilia as fringy stuff that will get nowhere. It's real and it's here and it's gaining strength. It's a very logical outgrowth of the nymphilism inherited in a sexual revolution. If you doubt this, just consider, for example, how unthinkable to many Americans was the recent celebration of infanticide, which we just discussed. We were talking about infanticide, full term abortion, and think about how when a conversation arose, many people were saying that was just they were against it, and that just something they were just not with. But look at it; it's actually a law now. It's a law now. I'm gonna skip down to the bottom. They and governors of many other states are getting your hold on are betting that your shock will simply wear off. Your shock you will be shocked in a minute, but it'll simply wear off, and we'll all eventually get with the infanticide program. People do tend to settle into such shifts, believing it won't affect them. But the selective dehumanization of children has been going on for far too long now. Why should we think that it'll be any different when the time comes for legalizing pedophilia? It will be no different. They are going to legalize pedophilia. Scroll down a little bit. First, the groundwork is laid through carefully planned propaganda. I'm going to repeat that just in case anybody missed it. First, the groundwork is laid through carefully planned propaganda. There are various types of messaging for various audiences. the medical establishment, the education establishment, legislators, judge, and the general public, and so forth. Then the agitation begins with posters, people who are just like you, and before you know it, it's all over. Unveiling pedophilia as just fine will likely be an ambush if we aren't prepared. I am sent to prepare y'all that this is coming. It promises to be as swift as the transgender tipping point campaign that shrewdly coincided with Supreme Court, whatever that word is, decision in 2015. It will be accompanied by a defiant campaign to paint any resistance as a relic of outdated morality that imposes the rights of an identity group and a civil rights of any children caught in the act. Okay, so they're going to normalize it. You can't, it's against this person's civil rights for them not to have a relationship with a woman, with a young woman who is maturing and coming into her womanhood. They're going to normalize it. So when the inevitable time comes, we would just sit back and cover in confusion. Or will ample voices be able to break through the pressures of political correctness beforehand and shout enough? Be prepared to make that happen because the picture is full and they are mixing the Kool-Aid. Okay, this is a really good article, you guys. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's very long, but I just want you guys to really see that we've already been desensitized and sexualization of children and implanting gender confusion in them. Okay, we already got over that stage, and before, if you would have looked back years ago, that would have just been a disgrace. Y'all remember back in the day seeing two men walking holding hands or a transgender on television? That was looked at as a disgrace, but now it become the norm. Because you have Jerry Springer and certain shows just pushing it out there in front of you, so now it becomes the norm. And what they're doing, they're implanting children with gender confusion. So now you have 10 and 11-year-olds confused about their gender and their sexuality. So I just want you guys to know there's also going to be an outbreak of paraphernalia acceptance. Okay, and this case actually shows that. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of go over that piece of the article with you guys. Let's go back to the presentation. I needed for you guys to see that and to understand what's going on. And that's the reason why we see it attached to this case. Okay, so what I put right here is Satan's kingdoms are pushing the pedophile agenda, or as they call it, the pedophilia project. The U.S. government is a kingdom of temporary power that assigns its state governments with agendas to push forward in this new world order. Okay, so the U.S. government is giving assignments to each state state's government to push forth agendas to govern us through this new world order. Somebody is calling me. I hope it's not important because I'm not going to answer it right now. Okay, a lot of us heard about Pizzagate when it was first exposed. And I just have a little clip so you guys can understand. It is becoming increasingly clear that many of the elite, including high-ranking politicians, celebrities, and very wealthy people, are operating in a global sex trafficking ring. They are doing it under the guise of helping children in need, fostering, rehoming, monitoring, period. And I also want to add, they got quotations, the elite. People who are in these secret societies. They are getting paid from a sex trafficking ring that's really worth like I believe I read it was 300 billions of dollars every year. Okay, so this right here is the federal identifier logos, and I wanted to show this in this presentation because a lot of times you see these logos or something that looks like an image of these logos surrounding these children for the purpose of their agenda. And it's the reason why I'm doing this, you guys. Stick with me. We on the road right now. We on the road. Okay, and this is the reason why I said to you guys, as far as the pink and purple, the pink and purple together, the pink and purple together, the pink and purple hearts. Y'all seen that April addresses. It was purple. It is her favorite color is pink. But if you guys want to do the pink and purple heart, no problem. No problem. That is the logo for a child lover. That is the logo for a child lover, according to the federal identifier logo for child lover. Pink and purple hearts together. And if you guys notice, they had in her funeral, in the funeral home next to her pictures, they had the pink and purple heart balloons. They have the pink and purple heart balloons. Make sure you guys see this. That's why April, and I believe that April have knowledge of this. That's why she was saying, "Hey, don't worry, we'll do the pink and the purple. We for both." They represent her both. If you guys looked at her funeral, they have pink and purple flowers. The whole funeral was pink. The whole theme of the funeral was pink and purple. That represents child lover. And remember, you guys, Patrick was they put out there that Patrick had images of children in his phone or child porn in his phone. They was feeding us. Matter of fact, I don't want to jump too ahead of myself. Let me back up and take my time with this because I want to make sure everybody is here and everybody get it. Kamille Cupcake McKinney is the poster child for child pornography. Okay, and remember when we looked into Malia Davis' case, she was the poster child for the transgender community. And the same thing with Kamille, she is the poster child for child pornography or the pedophile agenda, otherwise known as the pedophile project. Pay attention to this. Let's go into the meaning of the name Cupcake. Let's go into the meaning of the name Cupcake. That's why they said don't call her by her name Kamille. Call her Cupcake. Okay, cupcake is a small cake, size of an individual portion, baked in a cup shaped mold, and that's what you all, that's what the whole world feel like. Her name was Cupcake, right? They would picture a small cupcake, right? But it's also slang for a sexually attractive young woman. This presentation ain't for everybody. Go ahead and drop out because it ain't for everybody. It's also slang for a sexually attractive young woman. Think about it. You hear a man calling you a woman a cupcake. Y'all never thought about that when y'all first heard the name? I know I did. I actually went to one of my people in the group and I said something is really strange about a baby being called Cupcake. Because I always looked at it like that was kind of like a sexual type of nickname for a woman. So I began to look. A cupcake is a symbol for both a vagina and the female organism. This is going to prove to y'all that she is a poster child for the pedophilia project. A cupcake is a symbol for a vagina and a female organism. Cupcakes are not new. Cupcakes have been around the block. Cupcakes have been declared the it treat for years, both recession proof and simultaneously over. Yet cupcakes persist now more than ever. And cupcakes are no longer just a delicious bite of sugar and frosting. Cupcakes are a what? A symbol. Jesus. See, back in the day, cupcakes was just a little treat. But see, that's because our minds are still stuck in the old. Our minds are still stuck in the old. Think about Pizzagate. Pizza back in the day just meant pizza. Do you want pizza with cheese on it? Do you want pizza with pepperoni? What you want on your pizza? Pizza was just a food. Hot dog just was a food. That's why I brought it into Pizzagate so you guys can understand the time that we now. Pizza now is a symbol for a little girl. A hot dog is a symbol for a little boy. Cupcake is a symbol for a woman's, a girl's vagina. I'm trying to bring everybody up to speed. By the end of this presentation, you will experience a paradigm shift because we are no longer living in the old days where even food just meant food. Cupcake today is a symbol, just as pizza, just as hot dog. When you see a cupcake, your brain interprets it as a message. But what is the message? I know, Antoine Miles, I didn't tell you guys that I had this portion of it. I kind of wanted to, I had to save something for y'all during the presentation. Jennifer. I don't know about that, Jennifer. But like I said, that's back in the day, Jennifer, because back in the day, times have changed. Times have changed. Back in the day, you can have teachers conversing over a slice of pizza and it just meant pizza. But nowadays, when you have politicians or teachers or something like that conversing over pizza, you have to question, is they actually talking about food or a child? We're not living in those times no more. We are living in a new world order. And I don't want to hear matter of fact, I don't listen to no messages that's talking about the new world order is to come because I feel like those people are going to be left behind. We are in the new world order. It's not coming. It's here. It's here now. We're in it. We are seeing the effects of it. And if don't nobody understand what's going on today, it's because you don't have the understanding that we are living in a whole different time. Think about it. Even the way you sacrifice and worship the Lord is different. You got people like Kanye West stepping up in churches and introducing a whole new method of worship. We are living in a different time, in a different age, in a different order, in a different structure of things, y'all. And I'm trying to bring everybody mentally up to speed. And I pray that after this, you guys will really be up to speed. I wanted to also bring this to y'all attention. This story was released this was something that God really dropped in my spirit. This story was released just days after Pastor Wilson. If you guys can remember a video with drop me one of you guys remember this. It was a video that went out with a pastor named Pastor Wilson. It was leaked when he was eating some woman, I'm going to call it a cupcake. And we don't know if that woman was a woman or a girl. We don't know if she was an underage girl because you cannot see the person who he was performing this stuff on. All you could see was him and his face. And I didn't watch the whole video. I was just led to it to kind of get the revelation that I needed to get so I could actually add it to this because I heard about it. And I acted it right out because the Lord showed me a long time ago, if your eyes has caused you to sin, you better pluck them out. Okay? So I don't indulge in that porn stuff. Like, that's just not me. All right? If I want to get down and dirty, I have a husband. And that's it. Okay? But I don't know if you guys remember it, but this happened just days before the Cupcake story came out. The guy that preached at Cupcake funeral name is what? Pastor Wilson. Like I said, a lot of you guys may see it as reaching, but if you're not connecting the dots and if you're not following where I'm going, where I'm trying to take you guys, you're going to miss it. So first you have Pastor Wilson, and he's caught performing something on a young woman, young girl. We don't know who this person was. Okay, in her cup, he had his face in her cupcake because we saw cupcake means vagina. And then days later, this story come out. Days after that, another pastor named Pastor Wilson is preaching at the funeral. She is a poster child for child pornography, child paraphernalia. Okay. Also in the story, if you guys remember Pastor Wilson, and I'm talking about the guy that actually preached at Cupcake's funeral. If you guys can remember, right after the funeral, his son was accused of molesting a 2-year-old baby. Drop me a one if you guys remember that. Thank you all in the name. Wilson is Nanny Lee. I knew it was something about that name Wilson. I knew it was the reason why they kept using it. Because I don't know if everybody's seen that, because that was something that was like really spreaded amongst Facebook. But the pastor that preached at Cupcake's funeral, it was, a girl went live and she said that his son used to molest my baby. So we have all this child porn, child pedophilia. We have all this stuff surrounding this baby's name and case. You have to be able to see everything and connect the dots and for them to align and understand, oh, she's the poster child for this act. Jesus, I hope they following me. That's why I said, Miss Me, I don't know if everybody had knew about the story, but yeah, it was the pastor's son who was right after he did the funeral. I want to say maybe that same day, the girl went live and say, wait a minute, he's a demon, and I stayed with him before, and his son used to touch on my baby. So, and it was a big thing about that. It was a big thing about that, but we have to look at the signs and the codes and understand why certain things is circling around this baby's name. Okay, there's also a person named Cupcake the rapper. Okay, and somebody brought this to my attention. I don't remember exactly who it was, but somebody brought this to my attention and say, hey, Malika, do you know it's a rapper named Cupcake? I've never heard of the rapper Cupcake. Never heard of her. So what I decided to do was look her up and see if anything about her aligns with the story and with the agenda. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a rapper named Cupcake. Okay, and also one thing I found interesting is she retired the same month Kamille went missing. Okay, so she retired from rapping actually a few days before Kamille went missing, but her name is Cupcake. And remember how I kind of pieced together the whole 6ix9ine and Malia, and I said, well, let me just look into this rapper named Cupcake and see if it's anything there, because I'm on the road and I don't want to miss no sign. So I did just that. Okay, so here's the rapper Cupcake. Now, some things that I wanted to point out to you guys that really kind of stood out to me is, her favorite color is pink. She wears the pink hair, the pink eyeshadow. Her favorite color is pink. And she also, you see a lot of pictures with her in pink and purple. You see a lot of pictures of her in pink and purple. Okay, and she have this persona where she, like on her album cover, it's kind of cartoonish. And she had this persona to be like a animated figure, something that draws little children. And trust me when I say you do not want your child listening to her type of music. But however, her persona, for whatever reason, is sexual, and I want to say comical. Not they call it comical, but I want to say it's sexual and what is the word I'm looking for? Let me get to the next slide. It might come to me. But anyway, so the rapper Cupcake is often noticed for her hyper-sexualized, brazen, and often comical persona. That's what they call a comical persona. But like I said, I believe it's more cartoonish is the word I'm looking for. Because on her album, it looks like a cartoon. Something that would attract a child. And so she have this, grown sexual persona, but also a child. Oh God, please y'all follow me. She have a sexual persona, but also a child a child comical type of persona. You see what I'm saying? A grown woman embodying a hypersexual type of image, as well as the comical cartoon type of image. She's 22 years old. Here goes the number 22 again. And that was another thing that stood out to me, the fact that she was 22 years old. Okay, and the fact that her favorite color is purple and pink. Purple and pink, again, is federal identifier logos. The purple and pink together, the purple and pink hearts together. So to me, she's really the image of someone who is a child pedophile or pushing some type of pedophile agenda. Don't believe me? Just watch. I got a screenshot of her songs on her album. And I'm not going to go through them all because they're just disgusting, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean and what I was really trying to describe when I say a hypersexual type of woman who is also commercialized and comical and cartoonalized. You guys get what I'm saying? One of her songs is called Squidward. One of her songs is called Deep Throat. Another one of her songs is called Squidward Knows. Squidward is from SpongeBob. Do you get what I'm saying? Another one of her songs is called Spider-Man's D. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by cartoonish as well as hypersexual for kids. One of her songs is called Duck Duck Goose. Very sexual song called Duck Duck Goose. She have another song called Spoiled Milk Titties. Another song called Crayon. Are y'all follow me? She has another song called Pedophile. Exactly. Childlike. Childlike. She has another song called Pedophile. Okay, and so this is Cupcake right here. This is her album cover. That's what I mean by she have a very hypersexualized music, but at the same time, when you look at her album cover, she have cartoon childlike images and songs blended in with this hypersexualized. Why would you have hypersexualized songs and mix it with a child type of images or child type of content? Do you get what I'm saying, you guys? Sex, child sex, Cupcake represent child sex. Lord Jesus, let them follow me. I worked overtime on this case. I worked overtime over, and her favorite color is pink. Whew. Definitely Illuminati's puppet. Definitely Illuminati's puppet. Y'all with me? Hypersexualized. Child music. Her name is Cupcake. She's 22 years old. Her favorite color is pink. How much? If it don't make sense to y'all, I don't know how much more to make it. You're going to have to pray and ask the Lord to give you the revelation. I'm trying to drag your mind into something new and let you guys understand it when they tell us stories that using signs, symbols, and numbers. Okay, and I also found something because she had the parental advisory on the bottom of her album cover. I just seen a picture of Patrick that was on his Facebook page, and I don't know if this actually connects, but it kind of stood out to me that he would have the parental advisory on his Facebook. And like I said, I like to connect dots a lot. And I didn't know, like I said, I don't believe he's a rapper. I didn't hear anything about him being a rapper or in the music industry, but yet he have a photo that looks like an album cover, but it's actually just a photo with the parental advisory label on it. So after looking into Cupcake, the rapper, I find Patrick with the same type of label. Like he is the representation of child pornography or a man who likes little girls. Okay? All right. Let's keep it moving. So we have Ricky Smiley post, which everybody found very suspect, but I think that a lot of people missed what was going on here. I even missed what was going on here in the beginning, but a lot of times I take screenshots and I put it to the side until God kind of give me revelation as to what is really going on. But we had a Ricky Smiley post that said, "You are already in jail for child pornography." So here it is, child pornography, child pornography. All we seeing is child pornography attached to the name Cupcake. The name Cupcake means a woman's vagina. All we hearing is child pornography. The pastor just before that was doing some nasty stuff, and I believe it was probably underage child. That's what I believe. I not cannot produce facts on it, no, but I believe it was actually it was a way of communicating, and everything connect, y'all. Trust me. I believe it was underage woman, should I say? Could be 17, 16, but I believe it was underage woman. And I don't care what the rumors is going out there. Oh, that was sister such and such. No, I believe that pastor was with an underage child, an underage woman. That's exactly what I believe, because days later, here you go with the Cupcake thing, the whole child pornography thing, and this is the reason why that was pushed to the media. Because think about it, this man was never charged with rape. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you guys why Ricky Smiley said what he said. I'm gonna explain to you guys why it was put out there for the world to grasp. The whole child pornography, because she was the poster child for child pornography. This is the child pornography agenda. Okay, so Ricky Smiley. Oh, let me go back. Skip this. Oh, Ricky Smiley is and I'm just gonna call it how I see it. No pun intended. Ricky Smiley is a confessing Christian, but don't get it twisted. He's been a part of the Masonic Brotherhood way before this. Okay, he's been a part of the Masonic Brotherhood. Ricky Smiley would not have been able to have Dish had he not submitted himself to the Brotherhood. Ricky was used to push this pedophile agenda. He was used to push this agenda. This was a fear tactic and propaganda. Remember, we just read the Pedophile Project, how they would use stories to push the propaganda to legalize this thing and to make it normal, to normalize it. Okay, this is a fear tactic and propaganda to make us all believe this was a random kidnapping and program our minds to believe that Patrick was guilty of committing such a heinous crime. So a lot of us had no knowledge and still, didn't have no knowledge of what was what, who did what, who was actually guilty. But it was people like Ricky Smiley who put out that post that went viral. Because remember, you guys, this is a guy that has a big following. Okay, a lot of people see Ricky Smiley. No, he's a Christian. He's a good man. He loves the children. He loves the Lord. So they'll take his message and run with it, but it was all a part of propaganda and programming. He was supposed to put it in our minds that this man had child pornography on his phone, which I believe he did. I'm going to get to that too. But because he was found with child pornography on his phone, he raped her. He murdered her. He did this to her. He did that to her. To program us, to program our minds to believe he was guilty of doing all of that. We had already deemed him guilty before seeing any evidence or even hearing the evidence that was brought forth on the news media. We had already, matter of fact, before he even goes to trial, we had already judged him guilty. And a lot of that, it has something to do with Ricky Smiley coming out with what he came out with. A lot of people were saying, how did he have this information? It wasn't about the information. It wasn't like he had some type of secret information that nobody else has. No, he's a part of the brotherhood. He's a part of the agenda. And he used whatever they told him to say to push it out there to help program people, program our minds, to make us believe that this was a random kidnapping from a pedophile. With the help of the police chief and a Masonic celebrity influencer like Ricky Smiley. The whole world fell for this propaganda and believed this was a random kidnapping done by a pedophile named Patrick Stallworth and a kidnapper named Derek Brown. This is what they wanted us to believe. This is a random kidnapping by a pedophile and a kidnapper. Cupcake was kidnapped by somebody who already kidnapped before and somebody who's a pedophile. This is the story that they fed us for the purpose of propaganda. Somebody said I'm buffering. Hello? Drop me a 2. He's a puppet. Exactly, ouch girl. Drop me a 2 if you guys can't hear me. Try to hear some 1s and 2s. Okay, Ricky Smiley was a part of the performance, I guess you could say, was a part of the programming our minds, okay, for us to already deem him guilty because they were going to frame him with capital murder, even though we would never see a rape charge. He was a part of the programming. I'm good to some people, and some people dropping 2s. Okay. Ricky Smiley was promoted to a new daytime radio show. And this was something that one of the ladies had brought to me in a Facebook group. He was just recently promoted. He have a new daytime radio show where he's taking over for Tom Joyner. In case you guys, missed that. He was actually promoted because that's what these guys do when they pull off big agendas like this. People get promoted. People get promoted. They play their part, they get promoted. And all he had to do was put out there to his fans, to his listeners, what he was supposed to put out there. This guy is a pedophile. This guy raped her, beat her, drowned her. That's all he had to do. And now he's promoted with the new talk show. Now he's promoted with the new talk show. And look who's sponsoring it. Walmart. Just keep that in mind because we're going to talk about Walmart in a second. Now, I'm going to let y'all talk for a second because I have to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, but my presentation sometimes be so long. I have to take some pauses and some breaks in between. All right, so y'all can still hear me? Okay, so he was just promoted. Yes, puppets at different levels. I like the way you said that. I'm glad we got some woke people over here. I am so thankful. Thank the Lord we got some woke people over here. Patrick Stallworth was never charged with rape, yet many believed he indeed raped her. Now, why is that? How many can be honest with themselves and drop a 1 in here and say, just hearing the fact that he was found with child porn in his phone and hearing and reading Ricky Smiley's status believes he raped her. I'll be the first to admit it. I fell for the propaganda. I'll be the first to admit it. I fell for the propaganda because that's all it was. Stallworth and Brown are the perfect scapegoat. Both suspects are in custody. This is just a little screenshot of the news article, and this is just to really show you guys why they were the perfect scapegoats. For one, Stallworth was previously charged with, well, at this time it wasn't a previous charge, but this is why they were the perfect scapegoats. Stallworth was found, should I say, with child pornography in his phone. Brown was previously charged for kidnapping. Perfect scapegoat. If you feel me, drop a one. Perfect scapegoat, Antoine Miles. Perfect scapegoat. One was a kidnapper, have kidnapped this kidnapping before. Never mind it was her own kids that was taken away from her, but it's the fact that she was arrested for kidnapping before. The other was found with child pornography on his phone. Perfect scapegoat. I'm not sure, Sandra, because I don't know. I know that this is the government type of agenda. They are all behind it, so I really don't know. I might conclude it with this right here and just, continue to pray that this baby, that the Lord, get his baby some justice and his wrath fall upon all those, involved in it. Okay, I do believe Stallworth had child pornography on his phone, which I'm going to prove in this presentation. And I believe all the elite had knowledge of this, including Dominic. I believe they all knew that he was involved with child porn. I believe they all knew that he had child porn on his phone. That's what made him the perfect scapegoat. That's what made him the perfect scapegoat, the fact that they all knew that he had child porn on his phone. However, the child porn found in his phone doesn't prove he's guilty of rape or murder. That's what they wanted to implant in our head. That's what Ricky Smiley was supposed to implant in our head prior to them framing him for capital murder. And we all had it already planted in our head that if this man was found with child porn on his phone, surely he raped her. Surely he murdered her. Derica Brown, she kidnapped before. Surely she kidnapped her. Now I'm going to explain to y'all what I believe that happened. I'm getting to that right now, so I'm actually break down the story in a way that I kind of see it, okay, and make it make sense for everybody. But the child porn found in his phone doesn't prove he's guilty of rape or murder. But do I believe he actually had child porn in his phone? Yes, yes. And I believe that's why he made the perfect scapegoat. And on top of that, they were looking to push a pedophile agenda. So they needed someone who was into child porn online. If you guys following me. Okay, so now I'm about to get off into the story, the fake ransom. And I went over this story so many different times, talking it over with people in the group because this story really did not make sense, you guys. Y'all know we have two different stories. We have two different stories. We have two different scenarios. We have two different outcomes. We have a lot that I had to kind of like decipher and separate truth from lies. And so it was a lot for me. So if I don't have all the facts to the story, to have everything in here or answer all your questions, I'm sorry. I'm bringing y'all what I could bring y'all. I wanted to bring y'all this presentation because we know the holidays is coming up and I have to be able to spend this time with my family. So I will be off for a minute to just be able to have some family time. We have re-traditionalized tradition. So no, we don't, celebrate the tradition that the world celebrates. We have re-traditionalized everything. Okay, so but that is definitely still family time. And so I want to be able to get this thing done, present it to y'all because I have another live coming up Friday, which I'm going to share with y'all at the end of this live. And I'm very excited about this live coming up this Friday. And I have to prepare for that one as well. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys what I see. All right, so we're going to go into the fake ransom. I believe Stallworth and Brown were given orders by Dominic to take and hide Kamille to pull off a fake ransom. I believe they agreed to the kidnapping for the money. Okay, so I believe that Dominic instructed or asked Stallworth and Brown to, and from my understanding, just by listening to, and I don't know if they rumors, but okay, let me just say, according to the rumors out there of Dominic, he's a scammer. He pulls off a lot of schemes in different ways to get money, to earn fast, quick money. Okay, so I believe the whole fake ransom thing is an idea that he brought to Stallworth and Brown, and they agreed to the kidnapping, to the fake ransom for the money. Okay, and like I told you guys before about Brown, I don't believe Brown was even given a lot of information. She really was probably just told what to do at a certain time, and she did that part. Yeah, see, I don't really know too much about the child support thing. It's all BS because I did see that the police was saying it have nothing to do with child support, the custody thing, and I also heard rumors out there about the child support custody thing. But the way I see it, and like I said, they all had to agree to it. They all had to agree to it because the mother could have really rewrote this whole narrative and spoke up if she wanted to. She could, I mean, even if she just said, hold on, y'all ain't about to pay my baby per, but she stuck to the script when it came to everything. So I'm not saying that she had her hands behind the killing. Let me continue because I'm gonna show y'all. I don't believe that she had her hands behind Camille's murder, just as I didn't believe that Craig Davis had his hands behind Malia Davis' murder. But I do believe that both parents are still aware of everything and still partake in everything. You see what I'm saying? Still have agreed to everything. I just think one parent might be the more active one and actually get the job done. And maybe that might be the parent who, is into the occult and who's up for the sacrifice or whatever the case may be. But in a situation where you have two parents, I definitely believe that both of them have to be involved or on board. If not, if not, I think you will see a ruckus, especially on social media, the parents really having it out. Like, no, dang on well you took my baby. Dang on well you did. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think it would be a real big blow up. But they have to all be on one accord because this thing is bigger than just the three key players that I showed y'all before. It's bigger than them. Okay, it's bigger than them. All right. In a video, Dominic mentions someone asking for ransom money to get Cupcake back. If you guys can recall that video, he mentioned about somebody asking for ransom money. Dominic calls this person she, but he never says who she was. He just says she gonna ask me for money to get my baby back. But clearly he knew exactly who this person was. Clearly he knew exactly who this person was. All right. And we also saw a fake ransom note, which went out on social media, which went out on Facebook. In case you guys didn't see this note, I'm going to sit it here for a second so you guys can look at this ransom note. And I'm going to tell you guys what stood out to me the most when looking into this ransom note. And that's how I know that this was a ransom that was pulled off by both Dominic, Patrick, as well as Brown. This was something that they all pulled off together. So he addresses the ransom. Dominic, the child's father, addresses the ransom. We see a ransom note on social media. Here's the thing that stood out to me the most about this ransom. The person who has said to kidnap Kamille, who they said has Kamille, asked for 10 in Bitcoin. Okay, they asked for 10 in Bitcoin. This was the main thing that stood out to me. That was the main thing. Make sure y'all can hear me. Drop me a 1 if y'all can hear me. Okay, so he said, so this person said, like, I don't know who wrote this. I believe it could either, matter of fact, I even have an unction, not saying 100%, but I even have an unction that this was probably Paulisha. I believe that Paulisha probably wrote this. Paulisha, Dominic, somebody, or maybe even a white girl, because Dominic do have a white girlfriend. I actually believe this was one of them because, like I said, I do believe that they all behind the scenes were involved in pulling off a fake ransom to start it off with. But anyway, so the thing that kind of stood out to me the most was we want 10 Bitcoin. Yes, we choose Bitcoin as it cannot be traced. If you don't know what it is, Google it. Now, me, myself, personally, I know exactly what Bitcoin is. Anybody that know me, y'all know I got gold, I got silver, I got foreign money, I got cryptocurrency. Like that's just me because I believe that one day this whole banking system is gonna crash or collapse, and people gonna be without money. So I have always been a saver of silver, gold. I got the money from Zimbabwe. I seriously got Zimbabwe money. I think I've even posted it on Facebook before. I'm also a person who invests in stocks and I have cryptocurrency. So this was something that stood out to me because not everybody is really equipped to that. Everybody not hip to that. So that stood out to me the most. And I said, we want 10 Bitcoin in our wallet. I said, wow. You too, Mr. Miles. Me too. I'm into stuff like that. So that stood out to me the most. So I went on a path and I went on a journey and I went to looking into that. And so I put what stood out to me the most about this ransom was the fact that they asked for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in case some of you guys know, is cryptocurrency. Not many use cryptocurrency. So I knew this was someone who was well knowledgeable in using digital currency. Okay, yeah, they thought that everybody was uneducated. They really did. So I was like, this is somebody that's kind of knowledgeable in digital currency, that's active for digital currency. I said, okay, because a lot of y'all might not understand this because again, this is something of the new. Are you guys follow me? This is not nothing that back in the day we didn't have cryptocurrency. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to I'm trying to bring y'all minds up to where we are today. Today, people have cryptocurrency. They're gonna have to wait for this call. Okay, so I'm trying to bring you guys up to speed. So yeah, for years, Mr. Miles, I've been collecting it, but going back, in the old days, back in the day, they didn't have this. So nowadays, a lot of people probably didn't even know what Bitcoin was. So this is something that really stood out to me. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't skip nothing. Okay, I didn't. All right, so Star Wars was charged with 7 counts of child porn on his phone. And this is what they gave to us, guys. Star Wars was charged with 7 counts of child porn on his phone, 4 with intent to distribute. Okay, y'all get that 7-Eleven? Who caught that 7-Eleven? Y'all know I have always told y'all 7 and 4 together is a 7-Eleven. Okay, but anyway, I just have to sometimes point out neurology because we see neurology in the news stories. So I don't even know if I should even believe the news stories or y'all just giving us these numbers for the numerology. Okay, but I just want to point that out. I had to point that 7-Eleven out. So Star Wars was charged with 7 counts of child porn on his phone, 4 with intent to distribute. How was he going to distribute porn from off his phone? Did anybody ask themselves that? How was he going to distribute porn from off his phone? Because he was going to do it online. He was going to do it online. Oh, Bitcoin is used a lot in the US, Jennifer. A lot of people just don't know because like I said, this is something that's really not, I guess, really spread it right now, but yeah. Yeah, it definitely can be, but you can get some have it placed in your wallet and have your wallet um like they sent the link that came, an untraceable link to the wallet. You can do that to where it won't be identified as you or come back as you. But anyway, people did not. I have to really get through this too because I have to shut it down like about 4 o'clock. I have to go. So people didn't ask themselves this, like, how was he going to distribute porn from off his phone? So I had asked myself that, like, okay, they caught him with porn on his phone, and they said, 4 counts where he was with the intent to distribute. So I said, oh, okay, he was going to sell it online. He was going to sell the porn that was found on his phone online. Okay, so this is something I want to bring you guys up to speed. There's child porn sites on the dark web where you can sell and buy child porn to watch. And guess what, you guys? These sites accept cryptocurrency for payment because it's about keeping your, and this is another thing, it's about keeping yourself anonymous. So if you want to sell the child porn that you have on your phone, this is the only way I could see him selling child porn from off his phone because he will have to go to dark websites that actually have it to where you can buy and sell child porn on these sites and use cryptocurrency for payments because it is untraceable. Do y'all get what I'm saying? But I'm not saying you can't trace them, but there's a way. Stay blessed. There's a way that bitcoins can be untraceable. There's a way that you can set it up to where will not it can be untraceable. And a lot of times too, if you're using the dark web, I mean, if you're in a dark web, when you have the app or the software, should I say the software that's where your IP address or however it is. I don't really know too much about the dark web, but where the IP address can be untraceable, then you have your wallet and stuff set up to where you can be able to do cryptocurrency exchange and sales and purchase things like that without any of this stuff being traced back to you. So it's ways you can actually set it up. See, mine is probably traceable because I'm not looking to purchase anything that I shouldn't be purchasing online. You see what I'm saying? So mine is probably traceable, but there is ways that you can set up your e-wallets and stuff to where it can be untraceable, from my understanding. Okay, but I haven't really went deep off into that because, like I said, I don't have to. I'm not a person that purchase stuff like that online. So mine can probably. You're right, absolutely. It could probably be traced back to me. Okay, but you guys, those child porn sites on the dark web where you can buy and sell child porn to watch. These sites accept cryptocurrency for payment. All right, as payment methods that can be untraceable. Okay, so on October the 16th, which is just a few days after Cupcake went missing, and this is actually 3 days after um, Stallworth was arrested and had the child porn found in his phone. Just 3 days after he was arrested and child porn was found in his phone, there was a big bust. The FBI did a big bust where 330 people were arrested in child porn sites. So it was a child porn site bust. And a lot of people, they didn't even, this is the reason why we shouldn't really be this is the reason why we should stay woke and not let our minds be entertained by things that really doesn't matter and not be distracted because stuff like this happened behind the scenes and you have no idea. 330 people were arrested in a child porn site bust. Let me show y'all a little bit more. Okay, more than 330 people have been arrested around the world. This is a global arrest around the world in a major takedown of a massive child pornography website. All right, which U.S. officials say is among the first to be found using cryptocurrency to carry out video sales. So this is the first site that the U.S. found that uses cryptocurrency. And just 3 days after he was arrested and on his phone was found that he was getting ready to sell, distribute some child pornography, just 3 days later, there was a big federal bust of a website where 330 people all around the world was arrested from this child porn site. All right. This, I'm going over here to the side. This porn site called Welcome to Video accepts payment in Bitcoin and was the Tor network, which is encrypted and hidden. So it was in the dark web. It was the dark web. It was encrypted and hidden, as well as they accepted Bitcoin. Okay, this site upload page explicitly asks users not to upload adult porn. It operates for nearly 3 years before it was shut down in March 2018. So they were once shut down before, and just on the 16th, they did a massive, I don't even know if they shut it down, but on October the 16th, they did a massive bust where 330 people were arrested for using this site. And why did I bring this up? Patrick Stallworth get arrested on the 13th for child porn found in his phone, and boom, on the 16th, the Fed make a massive arrest. 330 people from all around the world is arrested in a massive dark web porn site bust. So I believe the feds got fed, if you guys know what I mean. The feds got fed, just like Ricky Smiley got compensated. So did the feds for their participation, and they got compensated. I believe that this compensation was from the porn that was found on his phone, the site that he was using, getting ready to distribute the videos or whatever on that site that he uses and pay. And that's why I said that's the reason why I also linked that fake ransom note to him or the people that was involved with him. I linked all that together, you guys, because that's how they operate. They operate in these dark websites, and they use cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for payment. This one website is the first, the one. It's like using MySpace. Okay, it's kind of like let's say this one website was the MySpace. This was the first website that came out, the most popular website that came out, the first one that came out that accepted Bitcoin and currency. And I believe Star Wars was distributing child porn to this site and getting paid in Bitcoin. And like I said, that ransom note, the whole Bitcoin thing was the first thing that stood out to me because, as somebody said, it can be traceable. So why Bitcoin? How did you even know to set up your wallet to where it couldn't be traceable? You see what I'm saying? But 3 days after they found this stuff in his phone, boom, the feds have an arrest. They got fed. Y'all got to understand this stuff. It's bigger. This thing right here is bigger than Star Wars. It's bigger than Brown. It's bigger than Dominic. It's bigger than April. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Remember, I showed y'all them in the beginning who all participated in this, including the feds. The feds made sure they got something out of this whole ordeal. What did they get out this whole ordeal? 330 people arrested. A major shutdown. They scored big. Come on, y'all. I told you it's always the promotions. It's always promotions. It's always promotions. They're going to get exactly what they need. The government got their laws passed or got their bills written up. They're getting ready to pass some laws. It's bringing order to the government. They're getting their laws passed. You have people like celebrity like Ricky Smiley. He just got promoted with a new talk show. You got the feds, a major bust. Are y'all following me? This thing is bigger than just the key players, y'all. Yes, the powers that be working very hard because they're trying to establish order all around the world. New world order all around the world so they can pretty much be aligned. But let me go ahead and finish this up. Okay, a narrative with many conflicting storylines. Okay, and this is the narrative that they pretty much painted for us. The baby that disappeared from a birthday party. If you guys, Bitcoin is 666. Wow, I didn't know that, Lenice. If you guys Don't follow anything I say. Just let me know. I'm gonna try to get through it as fast as I can so we can go ahead and wrap it up, okay? And I can answer any questions or anything pertaining to this live and this presentation that I'm doing in the end. Okay, so I call this part right here a narrative with many conflicting storylines. The baby that disappeared from a birthday party. This is the narrative. The baby that disappeared from a birthday party. Okay, and it was a random act from a guy who was a child pedophile and a woman who was already a kidnapper. Basically, that's what you supposed to believe. That's what you supposed to eat up, and you ain't supposed to look outside of that. You ain't supposed to ask no more questions outside of that. All right, so right here we see a video of a man walking past two infants, toddlers, and we see another man who approaches them and the babies walk off or follow him. Now I'm gonna give you guys what I believe is my breakdown of this whole entire thing. Okay. And like I said, it was really hard and I really had to get y'all, I was all over the place. I really had to get in quiet time with the Lord to help me make it make sense because for me things have to make sense for me. I'm not just the kind of person that you could feed me sugar or shit and call it sugar. Like that's just not me. You do get what I'm saying? Like I'm not that kind of person. So things have to make sense for me. All right. And I went back and forth with this whole video. I went back and forth with this whole narrative because the narrative don't match the surveillance, if you ask me. But I had to go through everything so I can get a clear understanding of what I believe that they want us to believe or what actually happened. Okay. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick breakdown of it. And y'all just let me know if y'all think it makes sense. Okay, so they gave us a surveillance video of a man approaching two children and luring them with candy. Nowhere on this surveillance can we be 100% certain that either of these guys were Stallworth or Brown or whoever, or we can't be certain that either of these babies were Cupcake. Do y'all all agree with me? And I'm just saying that because you guys have been following me for a while. Y'all know we've been giving fake surveillance footages before. We've been gave a whole, and for instance, Kiera Cole's case, the news blasted this surveillance, showed the surveillance, come to find out that wasn't even her. So do y'all agree with me when I say nowhere on this surveillance can we be 100% sure that either of these guys are the suspects, or either of these babies were Cupcakes? Just a question. I'm gonna make it make sense using what they gave us, but just a question to kind of see where y'all all was at with it, because that was the first thing I thought. Like, here we go with another blurry footage. Here we go with some more blurry footage. Every time y'all give us a story, y'all give us blurry footage. Y'all give us a narrative, tell us what to believe, and tell us what we seeing, and tell us and mind controlling, programming, propaganda. Y'all give us blurry footage and tell us what we need to be believing. Okay, so we don't know. We can't be 100% sure. Is what I'm saying because they've done it before. Nevertheless, we can either dismiss the video altogether or use the two stories they gave us and make it make sense. So instead of just dismissing the video altogether and ending this presentation and saying, y'all, I don't even believe that this is even them. This can be a whole fake footage. I decided to use what they gave us and try to make it make sense. Okay, so that's not saying that I believe 100% that this is exactly what they want us to believe. That this is Cupcake, this is the suspect. I'm not saying I'm 100% believing that, but what I did was I said instead of just dismissing the video altogether, let me continue to look at the information that they provided to us and see if I can make some type of sense out of this. And that's what I did. So let's get it. Okay. First thing I have to start off with reminding you guys that Satan is the father of lies and he is the author of confusion. In case you guys don't remember, he's the father of lies and he is the author of confusion. So and I told you guys this when we was looking into the Kiera Cole case. Every time we see a bunch of lies and conflictions and confusion, it's Satan. Satan is the author of that story. Satan is the author of that story, period. If you was outside playing, if your child was outside playing and you was in the house baking muffins, you go outside to check on your child and your child is not there, your story should not change. If you asked me 2 months down the line, I would still tell you my child was outside playing and I'm in the house baking muffins. When I go outside, my child is not there no more. If you ask me a year from now, I will still have the same story. But if that's the story, and you ask me 2 days later, and I say to you, my child was outside playing, then my child came in the house, I went outside to look for her, ran back in the house and noticed she wasn't in the house. That story don't line up with what you told us the first time. You said she was outside playing, and you went right outside, and she wasn't there. You do guys get what I'm trying to point out? Whenever a story have conflictions, confusions, and lies all surrounding it, Satan is the author of that story. Period. Period. Okay, so what I did was I kind of divided 2 columns of 2 different stories, 2 different conflicting stories, so we can kind of see how these stories did make sense. And you all know, y'all been following the story. We was first told April was not there, left Cupcake with the cousin. Then we was told April was there, left Cupcake for 3 minutes. Child disappeared from a birthday party, but yet we see child disappear at night on the playground. Amber Alert said a black man and white woman. Another Amber Alert said black man and black woman. Witness statement said man handing out candy. Later on, a witness statement said woman selling candy. Sheriff statement said child was found. BPD statement said child still missing. April's cousin make reference to a court case. News reports this has nothing to do with the court case. April cousin says this was because of Dominic's dirty dealings. News says this was a random act. Witnesses seen the child with Dominic. Witnesses seen the child with Patrick. Drop me a one if y'all following me. If y'all can clearly see the conflicting stories within this story. And this is what I was working with. This right here was what I was working in. When looking into these cases and you're really serious about what it is you're doing and you want to really get a clear understanding of what could have occurred, this is what made this case so complicated. Like many others, when we have so many conflicting stories, was she there or wasn't she there? Did she disappear from a party or was she on a playground? Was it a black man and a white woman or was it a black man and a black? This is what makes our job so hard. And this is the reason why they do it, y'all, because they don't want you to really figure it out. They want you to be mentally programmed with the propaganda that was proposed to you. You're not supposed to get to digging deeper and trying to make it make sense. This was really hard. This was really hard, but I had to kind of like look at everything because I believe most of the stuff on one side, and if this is indeed the story, and on the other side, I don't believe it at all. You see what I'm saying, or something on this side and not that side. But I had to really lay everything out and see the conflicting stories so I can kind of pretty much paint a picture for y'all, and so that I wouldn't be confused to throw you off track. Exactly. Exactly. They don't want you to figure it out. They want you to, take what they give you. Okay, so you all should know by now that a woman who was actually with April at the same place April was at during that day when she was at a homecoming football game, she wrote a post. I'm not gonna read the whole post because I think the whole post is just irrelevant. I'm just gonna point out to you guys what I kind of believe. I kind of believe this is true. Okay, I kind of believe this was true, and she was really in her feelings because it's kind of like she was a witness and she was telling us something, and she just kind of gave me a bit of what I needed to kind of like pinpoint out April that day and her whereabouts that day. So she said, I'm not friends with April, nor do I know anything about anything related to the kidnapping. But what I will speak on is our sons played on the same football team on Saturday. She said Saturday was our homecoming, and we were at the park all day barbecuing and watching the Little League games. Okay, she said our sons play on the same team and are on the older Pounds who play later that day. I cannot vouch for anything after 7 p.m., but I know April and Cupcake were under the tent the whole time. That's all I need to hear. So she basically saying that basically all day up until 7 p.m., April was at the game. April, her son, was at a football game, a homecoming football game. And we also, to match what she said, we saw a picture of April and Cupcake. April actually posted a status with the score of the game. Okay, so that's why I really believe that her testament or her testimony was actually legit. Okay, so I said right here, April attended a homecoming game on 10/12 from approximately 1 to 7 p.m. April posted a picture of her and Cupcake at the game at 1:26 p.m. The homecoming game was over at 7 p.m. per the lady. Well, we gonna say it was over at 7 p.m., but the lady said she can't vouch for anything after 7 p.m. So we gonna just say the homecoming game was over at 7 p.m. Yeah, April posted a Facebook status of the final score at 7:56. So she actually posted. She didn't post the score of the game immediately after the game was over. Or maybe it wasn't over until almost 8 o'clock. Okay. We don't know because maybe the lady left at 7 o'clock. We don't know. But I'm just gonna say April posted a Facebook status of the final score at 7:56, which was 56 minutes after the game was over, if it was indeed over at 7. Um, but I just want to point out the fact that after that timeline, there is no timeline of April's whereabouts after this time. So after the 7:56 post that she made on Facebook, we have no other timeline of April. You guys get what I'm saying? We don't know where she was at. We don't have no other timeline of April. Yeah, all of this is simple. All of this is numerology, Lenise. The times that April posted, I showed that in the beginning. All of this is numerology. So yeah, but I just wanted to point out the fact that after because of the witness statement, there is no timeline of April whereabouts. Okay, because I really do believe that the witness statement, her statement was accurate. Okay, so she was pretty much there at the game that entire time. I believe after the game was over and sometime between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., April gave her daughter over to her child's father, Dominic, as planned. Now, this is just, like I said, my belief, and I'm sharing with you guys what I believe, because like I said, I've been led to look in this, to do what I'm doing, period. And I really do believe that God is with me. I believe He's been with me. And so I'm just going to kind of stand on what it is that I believe. That's all I could do. Okay. But right here, no, I cannot produce to y'all facts. I didn't see April hand over her child to her baby daddy, but I really believe she met with Dominic and she gave Cupcake to Dominic. I believe Dominic took his daughter anytime between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Okay. All right. So a 3-year-old child disappeared from a birthday party. Now, again, this is my theory. Okay. This is simple. We have zero proof that there was ever a child's party with bouncy houses this day. I believe this was totally fabricated. I believe this was the part of the narrative. I believe that this was a narrative that they gave us. This was simply a scripted story, a narrative given to the public. We saw no evidence of a party. Like I could see if they showed us on the news um, some scenes or of a party or of some bouncy houses or something like that, but we have no evidence of a party. Okay, the supposed party host lied about Kamille being there for hours. If you guys can remember, the party host came out right away and was saying this little girl was here for hours, showing up. I gave her some cake, sent her on her way. She came back out 5 minutes later. She was unsupervised. She was just here, you know, for hours. And she had to lie about that because according to this witness statement, Kamille was with her mother up until 7 p.m. Okay, up until 7 p.m. So I don't find her story to be credible or even the fact that there was a party. Okay, I believe that she was just used to help push the narrative. The party host says she does not know the mom, yet she's never said that she didn't know Cupcake's dad, Dominic. Now, if y'all peep that out, at least I didn't find anything, and I don't remember her ever saying. I don't know the father either. I remember her saying, I don't know. I even got, if y'all go to my last video, when I specifically did that video for a reason. Okay, so I have everything laid out in that video, timeline, screenshots, everything. She specifically said, I do not know this child. I do not know this child's mother. But she never said she didn't know Dominic. So Dominic could have had her to actually vouch for a party and vouch for this whole narrative and play along with the whole narrative. But we don't know for it to be 100% certain if there was even a child's party with bouncy houses in the hood. And if it was, we just didn't see it. I believe that this was a narrative that was given to the public, which I started this section off saying a child missing from a birthday party, the narrative. Okay, so she never said she didn't know Dominic. She just said she didn't know the mom. So I believe she actually knew Dominic, and her, lying and saying the child was there at the party. She was there for hours. I believe it was a lie. Okay. According to the first story that was put out, witnesses said the suspect was a black man and a white woman, and then it was later changed to a black man and a black woman. If you guys can remember that. I think I even got a screenshot of that as well. Yep, I got a screenshot of that as well. Okay, so I caught an article, just screenshot for you guys to see in case you guys forgot about that or in case you guys didn't see it. Authorities initially believed that an SUV driven by a white woman and a black man. See, I like to leave no stones unturned. Try to create our own theories and give our own opinions, but it's loopholes somewhere in your theory. I try not to leave no stone unturned. Why did you tell us that it was the white one? The witnesses tell you that they saw a white woman and a black man driving an SUV? Is that what you were told? Like, where did the white woman come from? Where did she come from? Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so I said right here, I believe the kids did in fact see a black woman, a black man and a white woman. Okay, and I point out the fact that Dominic and one of his girlfriends, which April addresses in her Facebook post, she addresses as sister wives. In case you guys missed it, April did a post and she said, "What are y'all, sister wives?" So I actually believe that Dominic have two girlfriends, who might know about each other, live together. I don't know. All right, as far as a situation outside of this right here, but I believe that the kids actually, or there was some that witnessed a black man and a white woman this evening, this night. Okay. And later the story was changed to fit the narrative, to fit the ones they were going to actually frame, which was a black man and a black woman, who they were later going to identify as Starworth and Brown. Okay, so I did a picture of you guys because I've seen this picture of Dominic and a white woman at his court date, and I'm not 100% sure if this is the other woman or not, but I don't know, it was just kind of strange to me because he'd never been media shy, and at this particular time, and maybe it was because it was his daughter, maybe because the suspect was being arraigned that day, I don't know. But he kind of was like moving, like pushing back the media, like get us off camera. So it kind of made me question who was that woman that was with him, who was looking in the phone with him and standing there talking to him. So, like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I would love to know if you guys find out later on, is this the other woman or is she just somebody that was there? Comment on the channel. But I'm just going to give y'all what I have right now. I believe that this is the other woman. Okay. This is possibly the white woman is the news. Okay, so that's why I said I didn't know if she was the news reporter or if she was the other woman, but it is rumored. And it's also rumored, let me just put it out there, that his woman is actually not white. She's light skinned, that she's real light skinned. And see, the thing is, with this woman right here, even though she's not light skinned, it was hard for me to kind of tell if she was mixed or light skinned or just a white woman. I don't know. But it was also rumored that the woman that Dominic is seeing is not actually white, but she's real light skinned, So I don't know. I have not seen any proof or pictures of this other woman. Okay. But from my understanding, he has another woman. And according to April Post, he has two sister wives. Okay. And one is a dark woman, which is Paulisha, and the other is either a white or fairly light skinned woman. Like I said, this woman right here, I don't know who she is, but I do not see any type of news microphone equipment or anything in her hand or with her. She looking inside his phone. She's standing there talking to her, and he has two other dark skinned women by him, and a big man who looked like he could be his handler or his bodyguard with a red sweater, a hoodie on. If you guys remember. So, like I said, that woman right there stood out to me, and I decided to throw her in there just in case. But and I will probably later on find out exactly who she is and put it in the comments. But for right now, I can't really identify her and be 100% sure as to who this woman is. Okay, but she's definitely seen with him on his court date, and he definitely wanted the cameras not to capture him in that moment. All right, and we have Starworth and Brown. We both know, we all know what they look like. All right, so we also have, according to eyewitness statements, she said, okay, so from the eyewitness testimony from the child, he basically said Quintessa said she was selling candy for her kids' school, but didn't have her kids. She even gave his sister some candy somehow. After she got Cupcake in the SUV, she switched cars with Patrick, so she would be driving the car that had Cupcake. Not to mention, I've been told Patrick has been known to weirdly pass candy out to little girls. Shaking my head. That kid knows what the f he saw. Okay, so we have a whole story about what the child saw. I also got to remember, like, I'm wondering who are the other witnesses outside of the kid. Do they have any other witnesses outside of the kid? As far as, her being snatched at the party. Okay, so as I stated, I do believe Stallworth and Brown were ordered to assist Dominic with pulling off a fake ransom, maybe not knowing how far this would go or that they would be double crossed by Dominic. I do believe that they were asked to participate in what they might have believed was just a fake ransom to get some money. Again, this is my outlook on everything after I took my time examining what I had, the information that I had. Okay, I might not have everything, but I do believe that they did assist with the kidnapping. I believe Dominic and whoever this. That's why I put quotations the white girl because I don't know if she's a white girl or a light skinned brown girl. I don't know, but I put her in quotations. I do believe Dominic and the white girl because the news reported a white girl. I didn't make that up. They said that according to the first Amber Alert, it was said a black man and a white girl. So that's why we had to acknowledge that, and we could not just simply ignore it. We don't want to leave no stone unturned. So I believe Dominic and the white girl showed up at the Town Brown Village Apartments with Kamille around 7:38 that night. There were a few kids outside playing. Dominic gave Kamille and some other kids some candy and let his daughter roam around. This is what I believe. I believe this is why some witnesses saw a black man and a white woman because I believe that he was there with his girlfriend. And I believe like I said, I believe April gave after she left the party or whatever, or not the party, but the homecoming game. I believe she sent Camille with her dad, gave her to her dad. Okay, so I believe that Dominic had Camille that night and him and his white girl. Okay, and he pretty much was there at the Town Brown Village Apartments because this was according to plan. He pretty much let his daughter roam. Now, some kids might have got some candy from him. Okay, this or from the white girl because this was a story that the news reported. You get me? Patrick and Dominic, I mean Derica, I'm sorry. Patrick and Derica, this is just what I believe, pull up in two separate cars. Okay. Patrick driving one of Dominic's cars. I just believe that Patrick was driving Dominic's cars. And y'all gotta follow me because this was really a headache for me to do. But I literally was drawing stick figure people and box cars trying to figure this thing out. Okay, so if y'all gonna argue with me about this, y'all got to make it make sense because I was literally my husband to tell you, I was like, baby, you staying here and I staying over there. Telling my daughter, you walk up to me. I was literally trying to strip everything out in my house to figure out how this thing could have went. And the only way I can come up with this thing is Patrick and Derica pull up in two separate cars. Patrick may be driving one of Dominic's cars because remember, Dominic was said he even said on the news that he has several cars. Cupcake knows all his cars. He have different cars. Okay, I think during this time, Cupcake and another child were outside playing by themselves. Okay, Cupcake and the other child, which we have identified, well, which they have told us was another little girl, was outside playing by themselves. The first person walked past them, I believe, is Derica. Now I went back and forth with was it Derica, was it Star Wars? Was it Derica, was it Star Wars? But one reason why I believe it's Derica is because I noticed how fast this person walks by. I just paid attention to the stride. And there's also a video of Derica getting arrested, and she has the same type of stride, and she walked kind of fast. So I noticed how this person I noticed the stride, and I'm just gonna say I believe this person is Derica, but it could very well be Star Wars. It don't change the narrative of what I'm getting ready to share with y'all. Actually, it would a little bit, but let's just stick with Derica. I believe this person was Derica, because I noticed how fast this person walks by. The second person that approaches them, which we all looked at this footage thousands of times, the second person that I believe that approaches the children is Dominic. I also looked at the stride and the walk and Dominic's walk at the funeral, and people got videos of that. And I noticed that, he does walk with a limp, or, you know, I just noticed that the walk was pretty much similar. And so I believe that the second person that approaches them is Dominic. They follow behind Derica. I believe Dominic, as well as the two girls, follow behind Derica and put Cupcake in the back of the truck. I believe they put Cupcake in the truck because the reason why I believe that this was her dad doing, because Cupcake does not throw a tantrum. And according to Dominic, she's not stranger friendly. And you can't just take a child, throw him in your car without that child throwing a tantrum. The little boy says that he see, a child's feet, like dangling, from the car, but he never said that she was, crying or beating, like she wasn't throwing a tantrum. He just saw that them picking her up, her feet swinging, and they put her in the car. So that's why I believe that this was Dominic doing, and I believe maybe because she was with a familiar face, which is Derica and her dad. She probably was not afraid of Derica, and because her dad was right there, they placed her in the trunk in the truck. Once she's in the truck, calm, she's sitting in the truck, she's calm, she's eating her candy. I believe Patrick and Dominic pulls a switcheroo. Now, what I mean by that, if you could picture this, Cupcake is sitting in the truck. Okay, Dominic is over there with Derica talking. Okay, Patrick is already sitting in one of Dominic's cars. Okay, like I said, and Dominic is there with the white girl. So the white girl is in the car that they originally pulled up in, which was, and I believe that he could also have a truck. All right. So the white girl is sitting in the car that they pulled up in to begin with. I'm trying not to confuse nobody. I'm just trying to make sense of this whole thing. And like I said, I had to even draw sketches to try to get this to make sense of this. Um, Dad, we see the first person walk past, which I believe is Derica. She walked past, look at the kids, keep going to her truck. We see Dad coming behind, Cupcake and them following. I believe Dad put Cupcake in the truck. Now he might be standing in the truck by the truck window and talking to Derica while Cupcake is sitting in the back seat eating her candy. He might even got in the truck for a minute. But what I mean by switching cars, and I mean by pulling the old switcheroo, by the time Cupcake look up, her dad is in the car no more. Now it's Patrick. And he might have had on a black hoodie just as well. But she's sitting in the back, she's eating her candy, she's calm because when she, Dad is right there. Dad is right there by the window. No need to trip. But when she look up, Dad is at his car, which is the car that Patrick is in, because in order for him to get, how can I say this? And Patrick is at the car now, in the car with Derica and Cupcake. But in order for him to take the other vehicle, he had to have a second driver with him. If you guys get what I'm saying. Do it make sense to y'all? If not, drop me a two. I'm trying my best to explain it because, like I said, I actually had to draw this stuff out and try to make sense of this stuff because I believe that I believe that Patrick as well as Dominic participated. And I think that they both kind of which threw the kid off because now the kids see Dominic walking to another vehicle and Patrick getting out his vehicle and walking into the vehicle with Derica. And I believe Derica and Patrick pulls off with Cupcake. Now, if I don't make sense to y'all, let me know because I try to really throw it out as best as I can. So just it kind of remind me of the old switcheroo back in the day when just for instance with the whole Tupac thing, how the Tupac lover said, she was having sex with Tupac, she turned the lights off, she having sex with Tupac. Next thing you know it, in the dark, he gets up and another man come late. It was like a kind of an old switcheroo thing. That time I look up, now it's not dead no more. It's another man, but I thought it was dead. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the reason why this baby wasn't really crying, screaming, kicking, throwing a tantrum because she thought her dad was right there. But I believe that time she looked up, it wasn't her dad. Like they kind of did a switcheroo. If y'all get what I'm saying? Because it took a lot for me to really fathom this and try to understand what really might have happened, even meditating. I believe I was seeing the scenes in my head. But this is what I got for y'all, okay? All right. So I do not believe that kid witness was Kamille's brother. But I believe this was a random kid who do not know Dominic from Patrick. All right. It possibly could have been a brother of the other little baby that was outside playing with Kamille. I believe it was something that the Lord gave me because you remember the little boy said that somebody gave his little sister some candy as well. So, and then everybody wanted to know what happened to the other baby that was outside playing with Cupcake. Well, I believe she was out. I believe she was okay because her brother was also outside amongst the other kids playing hide and seek. So I believe once they put Kamille in the truck and everything, all they had to do was just shoot her on, like going over there with your brother. You get what I'm saying? Because her brother was also out there. Her brother might have been the one who actually witnessed the entire thing. Okay, but I don't believe that that boy, the 11-year-old boy, was Camille's brother. I just believe that he would have ran to the car if it was some strangers taking his sisters. He would have said something or did something. He's too old not to just let somebody pull up, take his sibling, and not run to the house, not run to the stranger, I mean not stranger, but not run up to, yeah, the stranger, or not run up to his, to his mom or cousin or whoever, as far as the story that they gave us. So I don't believe that that 7-year-old boy is Cupcake's brother. And I wish please use common sense and stop saying that. Okay, and also the woman with the little boy, the police, nor the report said that this was Cupcake brother. I think it would have been said instead of a child witness, they would have said the child's brother. Okay, but it was not stated that this was Cupcake's brother. It said a child witness. So I believe that that's what he was, a random kid who was outside playing. His little sister was outside playing with Cupcake. You get what I'm saying? I think he was a random kid who don't know Dominic from Patrick. All right. Um, which is why I believe this was a random kid playing outside who didn't know either man. I believe both statements about the suspects could be true. Some saw a white woman and a black man. Some saw Derica as they were placing Cupcake inside the truck. Not sure which woman mentioned selling candy. I'm not sure which woman mentioned selling candy. It could have been either one of the women. It could have been a white woman. Like, I'm selling candy for my kids' school. It could have been Derica. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to even know that part. The kid could have told, but I also said, as far as the mention selling candy, I also said the kid could have told this based off of what's already being said, what was already circulating in the hood, what he didn't heard before. He could have heard this before and said that, and it kind of remind me when he said it of a child that's really repeating what he heard. She was asking to sell, trying to sell kids for her candy, and she ain't even had no kids in the car with her. It kind of just to me sounded as a child that was just really repeating what he heard before. Okay. So this is what I believe, you guys. I'm hoping you guys are with me. Okay, so I believe the child was taken to Center Point. I believe Stallworth and Brown took the child to Center Point as instructed. However, it is my feeling that they did not harm the child. They were in contact with Dominic the entire time they had her, which is why while being interviewed, Dominic mentioned Center Point, and he also mentioned the fact that Cupcake is all right. He mentioned that more than once. Cupcake is all right, as if he knew, and as if he knew that the whole time. She all right. She all right. She good. And she's at Center Point. I know what I know where my baby at. And he also said on social media, we're gonna get her back. Like he didn't seem like a guy that was really antsy or really nervous. My baby might be in harm's way. And people say he was speaking positivity, but no. When you have a missing child as young as 3 years old, you can't help but to be nervous, to have nerves take over you. Like, is she okay? I'm hoping she okay, y'all. I'm praying that she okay, y'all. Let's pray that she okay. No, I believe he was in contact with Stallworth and Brown when they had this baby over in Centerpoint. Now, I don't know if they took the baby to their apartment in Centerpoint, because I actually heard something that told me a trap house. I just didn't want to put in the presentation, but y'all pray on that. But I just kept feeling like she was probably taken to a trap house that they all kind of use and they all are familiar with. Okay. But he knew during that time while he was doing the interviews where she was and that she was okay. The suspects were detained and brought to the station for questioning on the following day of the 13th. It was first stated that the witnesses spotted the dark SUV, which was identical to the vehicle witnesses saw in the area during the time of Kamille's disappearance, and the same description of the vehicle Cupcake was seen getting into, according to the child's statement. So they were detained according to the vehicle. All right, according to the vehicle, they were detained. It wasn't until Patrick Stallworth's face was blasted on the news as a person of interest that he was allegedly identified as the man seen passing out candy to the children. So it was because of his vehicle that he was detained, because they kept saying his vehicle fit the description of a vehicle that was in the area during the time of the person's of the baby's kidnapping. So what I believe is Birmingham PD gave the public everything they needed to help them steer the case. And what I mean by that is it was kind of like they showed us the vehicle. The people called in and said, I think I see that vehicle. I spotted him. I see him. And they went and got him. They gave us a picture of him. People called in and said, yep, that's him. Now, I don't know if they was actually getting these calls, okay? But they were giving us the information that we needed. Because remember, before, back in the day, I'm saying before in the old days, they would have to draw a sketch of the suspect, because they wouldn't just put the person face out there and you'd be like, yeah, that's him. Witnesses would have to go to a station and be like, what did he look like? And they would show you a sketch on the news of what he looked like. And if anybody seen anybody that looked like that sketch, we call in and say, hey, and we lead them to the person. But yet they was giving us the information that they needed to help steer the case in their direction, if you guys get what we said. And we was helping them. According to the statements, the witnesses was helping them like, yeah, that's him. He sure do look. And they probably didn't know Patrick from Dominic. But the Birmingham police was saying this is the guy that we identified as the man who last was seen with Cupcake. And they said, yeah, that sure do look like him. Do you get what I'm saying? So the tips come calling in, the tips start rolling in. You get what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they was basing it off of a sketch and saying, no, that ain't him. No, they was feeding us. They was feeding the world exactly what they needed to help steer this case. Okay, I already read that. All right, I'm sorry, I got a little cold. Stallworth and Brown were held on unrelated charges. I believe during this time they were in custody as Dominic was making his media appearances. He knew all along where she was being kept and continued to go along with this fake ransom story to raise speculations on social media, which he did, and place blame on random people so that he appears innocent and as a concerned father. So he started throwing all these different things out there, this different stuff out there, and just to kind of so he can appear innocent and raise speculations, and he can appear as a concerned father. And keep in mind, everybody, when these people are doing this, they also have family that's watching. So my family need to not believe that I'm involved in this. My family need to see me going hard for my daughter. So I'm gonna be on social media raising hell and getting into it with just random folks or whatever, because I have to continue to put on this innocent front. Because some of my people might not even know that I'm involved in this cause. So that's what I believe that was. I have to kind of get through this pretty fast. I'm sorry. Cupcake Kamille Cupcake McKinney was sacrificed on October 17th. October 17th is 10/17, which is 7/11. Now, this is what I believe. I believe Kamille McKinney was actually sacrificed on October the 17th, which is 7/11. All right, this is another 7/11. October the 17th, 10/17 is nothing but 7/11. Okay, on October 17th, Patrick Starworth was released on bail. The news stated that he posted bail on an amount that was set for 500,000. When questioned, how can someone who cannot afford a private attorney but given a public defender pay that kind of money to post bail? It was said that 7 members of Starworth's family put up their houses. I believe this was not only false information, but this is also numerology. Let's look. Okay, and in case you guys missed it, I want to I don't want to go too fast. I want to make sure you guys caught it. So they said this is what they said, that he actually posted bond a bail for $500,000. People were saying, it was rumored that how could he afford this money, and he had a public defender. So it was said that seven of his family members. Drop me a one if y'all remember hearing this information, so people out there can just know I'm not making this stuff up. That 7 of his family members, for the sake of numerology, because I'm not, 7 of his family members put up money, put up their houses. I'm sorry. 7 of Starworth's family members put up their houses in order to bail him out. Okay, this is cold, y'all. This is cold. Okay, bail set for 500,000. That's 6 figures. Okay, 5 plus 6 equal 11. There were 7 family members that put up their houses. 7/11, y'all. That's a 7/11. Okay, so this was not true. This was not a true story. This was false. And because they keeping the energy going, even with the updates to the story, they have to keep the energy going. Okay, and it don't make any sense, because ask yourself, why would 7 family members put up their houses for a child pornography case? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? This man wasn't convicted of murder. This man was convicted for child pornography, for child porn that was actually found on his phone. Why would 7 family members put up their houses for a child pornography case? Do that make sense? And I got some family who love me to pieces and got some nice houses, but for something that ridiculous, they not about to put their houses up for. You gonna sit there in jail until your trial come up. Now I might put up some money for you, a good attorney, so you won't have a public defender. But why would 7 family members put up their houses just for him to get out on bail for a child pornography charge, and he was actually caught with the child porn in his phone? Does this make sense to anybody? Since this was Starworth's first offense of child porn, I believe he was released on a personal bond. They wanted him out on the 17th so that he could be framed for Kamille's murder. Now, let me explain to y'all. Pay attention and peep. I believe he was let out on the personal bond because he had no previous charges of child porn. And if anybody know what a personal bond is, that's when they might set a bond for a certain amount, but actually don't collect any money. Just let you go with your word that you will come back and appear in front of a court of law. Okay, on 10/17, which is 7/11, the same day Patrick Starworth was released. He was released on 7/11. Ironically, Dominic and Paulisha, which is Dominic's other woman, now here she come playing her part. Okay, I believe Dominic, white woman, the other woman, played her part in the kidnapping. Now here's Paulisha come to play her part. Dominic's other woman was spotted by 3 women with the baby. I know a lot of you guys don't believe this story, but I believe this story. I actually believe that the women did catch something, did see something. And I'll explain to y'all later why I believe it, but I just believe it. I believe Dominic went to Center Point where she was kept, suffocated the baby, and wrapped her body in a blanket. Okay, and I believe this happened, like I said, on 7/11, which is the same day that Dominic was released. Because I believe it was their initial intent to frame, same day Patrick was released. I'm sorry. Because I believe it was their initial intent to frame Patrick for the murder of Kamille. Okay, so I believe that what they were going to do was the same day he was released. Um, that's when she, and plus it was a 7-Eleven ritual. She had to die that day. So I think they were going to. They wanted him out of jail, y'all. They wanted him out on 10/17 because they wanted to initially frame him on 7-Eleven for the murder of Kamille. But I believe it was actually Dominic who went to Center Point, where the baby was kept. I believe he suffocated the baby and wrapped her body in a blanket. And this is what the three women caught. Okay. Paulisha pulled, and this is what I believe that the three women were seeing and trying to convey to everybody. Paulisha pulls up, and Dominic is spotted by three women running to Paulisha's car with the baby in a blanket, covered in a blanket. I believe Kamille was deceased at this time. Dominic is spotted running to Paulisha's car, and it was said by the three women that he drops the baby, maybe from nervousness, because he know he's being watched. So he tosses Camille's body, try to tosses her body like a football into the trunk of Paulisha's car. But he drops her again before picking her up off the ground and placing her into the trunk. I believe Dominic and Paulisha, was taking her body to someone who would dismember the baby for her organs and dump her remains. Now, I've always believed this. Even when they said they, found the baby remains, I've always believed that her body, that she was killed during a ritual. Her body was immediately taken to someone who would dismember her and take her organs and dump her remains, because this is also a big payoff. The things that they do, as far as them committing themselves to the agenda and to the ritual, that's just really to enhance themselves and move up in rank. But the money, a lot of times the money come in actually selling the baby's body parts and selling the baby's organs. That's where the money come in at. Let me make sense for this for y'all. The ladies notified the police of what they saw. Now I believe this is where things had to take a turn, because they was actually caught. They was actually caught removing the dead body and taking it somewhere. So the ladies notified the police of what they saw, as they were already live on Facebook. Social media went on a frenzy. These ladies could have damaged this entire case by rewriting the script. The ladies that caught them could have damaged the entire case by rewriting the script. But BPD covered for Dominic. So it was said that he was at the police headquarters during this time. People then began to discredit the women, which was exactly what they wanted. Stallworth and Brown framed and charged with capital murder. Now watch this. I believe BPD had to say Kamille died the same night she was kidnapped. And here's why. This is why. To frame both Stallworth and Brown. I believe they planned to just frame Stallworth. I just told you, I believe they just planned. Their plan was to frame Stallworth. That's why they let him out on the 17th. Hence the Ricky Smiley's post. Think about Ricky Smiley post. Ricky Smiley did not say anything about Brown. He said, Stallworth, how dare you? You raped her. You murdered her. You drowned her. Their initial intent was to frame Stallworth. Let him out on the 17th. We're going to blame him for murder, because the whole world is going to know that he was released that day. He went home and killed her that day. You get what I'm saying? That was the initial plan. However, I believe they had to change the day to the night of the kidnapping to cover for Dominic getting caught with the baby, and to dispel all the thoughts, rumors, and speculations of anything happening after the night of the. Brown, I believe, was the casualty of war. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is I believe that they had to change the date from the 17th to the 12th. I don't believe Kamille actually died that night of the 12th. I don't believe she actually died the night of the 12th. I believe she died the night of the 17th, but they had to change it to the 12th because they wanted to dispel the rumors that she was seen with Dominic on the 12th. I mean on the 17th. And so to dispel any speculations, any rumors, or anything, they had to change it to the 12th. And I believe because they changed it to the 12th, Brown became a casualty of war. Because again, if you pay attention to the Ricky Smiley post, he never mentioned Brown at all. So their original narrative, what they painted, was to frame Stallworth. Look at all the evidence, the previous evidence. It was all against Starworth, you have been found with child porn in your phone. You raped her. You drowned her. They were going to frame him. They released him on the 17th for a purpose, for a reason. We see numerology behind it as well. So they released him on the 17th. However, they had to switch up the story, change the narrative, and Brown became a casualty of war. How about we say both of y'all did? I got to read the comments a little bit later because I got to be getting ready to get up out of here. This is why Starworth was shocked to find that he was being charged with the murder of Kamille Cupcake McKinney. I believe that this was the last time he saw this. I believe that the last time he saw this baby, she was alive. Okay, I believe that's why he was really shocked that he was being charged with this, because the last time he actually saw Cupcake, she was alive. If anything, I believe he should be charged with accessory to kidnapping in regards to Kamille. Of course, he should be charged with having child porn on his phone. I believe all of that, but I'm talking about in regards to Kamille, I believe he should be charged with accessory to kidnapping. I also believe Starworth's first attorney, Anthony, I believe his name is Anthony, decided to step away from defending him when Starworth's alibi didn't check out, and he believed that he did, in fact, take part in the kidnapping. His first attorney knew that his alibi didn't check out, and he actually did take part in the kidnapping. So he like, hey, you lied to me about the kidnapping. I believe you did take part in the kidnapping. So he decided to step away. Starworth's new attorney, Collins, decided to take on the case, knowing that he could possibly have a good defense. He knows that there's very little to no proof that Starworth actually murdered Kamille. So even if he gets found guilty for kidnapping, he can possibly get him off for murder with the lack of evidence. Collins appears to be a pretty decent guy, but this still hasn't yet to be proven. This still is up in the air. Got to kind of pay attention to Collins, though. But he seemed to be a pretty decent guy so far. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to try to frame him and dig an even deeper hole for him, if he's going to actually try to fight for him. That's left to be said. Okay, many feel that Brown gave a statement against Starworth. Many feel that if Brown gave a statement against Starworth, that he must be guilty of murder. Well, I believe Brown do not know what happened to Kamille after her arrest. Therefore, it will be wise for her not to go to trial with Starworth, but to prove her very own innocence. Wouldn't that be wise, y'all? Like, why would she go to trial with him when she hadn't got out since the day she was locked up on the 13th? She hadn't got out, so she don't know what took place after the 13th, after she was locked up, after she got locked up. So it would be very wise for her not to go to trial with him and to prove her own innocence. Brown could have simply gave a statement of the kidnapping, y'all. Just because she gave a statement against him don't mean he murdered her. She could have simply gave a statement against the kidnapping. Hold on, and how she was pulled into it by Patrick. So her statement against him could have been simply that, yeah, we did kidnap her, and he had me to do X, Y, and Z while he was doing X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? That is a statement against him. Any statement against him can be means for two separate trials. Okay, if Dominic is behind all of this, why won't Starworth or Brown snitch on him? Because I see this question being asked a lot, and they say if Dominic is behind, all of this, why won't either of them snitch on him? But y'all gotta understand, snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. How do we know that they did not snitch on Dominic, but was advised and or threatened to not speak on Dominic or any of Kamille's family members? How do we know that they did not say something but was advised by counsel or threatened by inmates not to speak on Dominic or any of Kamille's family? You don't know that. We just don't know that. I don't know, Stephanie. I don't know. I really don't know. It could have been. I really don't know about that. That's a good question though. And that's why the attorney probably can get them off of that. But I don't know. It all depends. If they can prove that it wasn't arranged, if they can prove that it was arranged by dead, then yeah, they could probably get him off. But what if they can't prove that it was arranged by dead? You see what I'm saying? So then they would actually charge him for the kidnapping. But also remember that the inmates on the inside know all about this case, and they with the family. They holding the family down. Okay, it was a post that was put out there saying, even on the inside, we feel your pain, praying for the family. Okay, so how do you guys know that they don't feel like, I mean, how do you guys know that they don't feel like they can't really speak to just any inmate? Do y'all know that they can be costing themselves? They can, matter of fact, I got it in the next slide. Let me just read the next slide. Speaking to anyone about this family's involvement can get him killed faster than waiting on death row. Okay, how do you guys know that he feel comfortable with speaking to any other inmates about the family's involvement or about Dad's involvement? That could probably get him killed faster than him waiting for death row. I'm sorry that I'm rushing through this. I got somewhere to be real shortly. Ritualistic sacrifice. I'm getting to the end right here. Ritualistic sacrifice. As I previously stated, I believe Kamille's actual death date is on 10/17. If you guys want to go back to sleep and believe she was killed on the 12th, then you possibly can. But she was actually killed on 10/17. We've seen the 7-11 numerology all over this case. If you guys don't remember, go back to the beginning of the video. I actually showed you guys where they had 7-11 and 9-11 all over the three key players. So I believe she was killed on 10/17, which is 7-11. Anytime during October the 13th through October the 30th is considered a Hallows Eve sacrifice. What is Hallows Eve sacrifice? Well, you guys know that a lot of times when we look at these occultic cases and satanic sacrifices, we go to our calendar and we look at the date around the time frame that this person was murdered. And we try to see if that was during the time of a ritualistic or ceremonial sacrifice day. And according to the calendar, October the 13th through the 30th is preparation for Hallows Eve. In other words, Halloween. And if you guys look, it's a abduction. This is how you do, this is how you perform a ritual during this time. And sacrifice, okay? So around the 13th through the 30th, you perform a ritual by doing an abduction. That's why Kamille was abducted. In case anybody, I'm laying this stuff out for y'all. That's the reason why she disappeared. She was snatched up. She was abducted because it was a satanic ritual sacrifice, ritualistic sacrifice. Okay. And as long as this stuff happened around this time frame, which it could have been, after 12, after midnight, on the 13th. We really don't know. We just going by the time frame that they gave us. But everything has to be according to, and you don't think it's just coincidence that it's a abduction and she was actually abducted during that time. But anyway, this is the preparation for Halloween. Holding a ceremonial preparation of individual for human sacrifice. On the 13th is actually the Halloween backwards. Okay, 13th, 1-3, Halloween is on the 31st. So if you guys looking, I'm looking at the second box from the bottom, which is say October the 13th through the 30th. This is when they perform their Halloween satanic rituals and sacrifices. And in order for it to be a ritual, it has to be an abduction. If you guys follow me. Kamille was laid to rest on October the 27th, which is also code for both 7-11 and 9/11. Okay, 10/27/2019. The 7 plus the 2 plus the 2 is your 7-11. If you remove, you guys might have to go back and watch this part. If you remove the 7 and the 2 and the 2, you're left with 10/0/19, which is 9/11. So the day she was laid to rest, you have the 7-11 as well as the 9/11 in there. This day also fits the time frame for ritualistic ceremonies of human sacrifices, which I showed you guys that, which is why the autopsy results and ceremony came so abruptly. Did anybody think like, wow, this autopsy came fast? The ceremony happened so fast. Like everything happened so fast. Like normally it seemed like you would have to kind of wait. Like the autopsy results won't come back for maybe a couple of weeks, 3, 2 weeks. I don't know. But it seemed like everything happened so fast. The autopsy results coming back, the ceremony coming back like within that following week. So this is because they are meeting certain dates. Okay, so certain dates can play out according to numerology and satanic rituals. A clue that this was a satanic script and sacrifice dedicated to Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. is seen within the story. So for me, a clue, like I said, it could have been rumor. I believe that this is a rumor, and the reason why I believe this is a rumor because I believe this is actually a clue and a code that this was a satanic script and sacrifice dedicated to Halloween. The clue that I believe that they gave us was the rumors of passing out candy to children. I believe that that was code for a Halloween sacrifice. What do adults do on Halloween? Adults pass out candy to children. So I believe that I really don't believe that that was actual factual. You know, I believe that that was a rumor and it was said so many times that even a child repeated it. Or maybe they did hand out a couple pieces of candy to some kids. Who knows? But I believe that that was code and that was our clue that this was actually a Halloween type of ritual because the passing out of candy, that's what they do on Halloween. The dog passes out candy to children. So when I first heard that story about a guy was at the party passing out candy to children, that really stood out to me because I had already had the knowledge that this was a Halloween sacrifice. I had already felt like that anyway. Um, so when I heard the guy passing out candy to children, I said, "Wow, that's what they do on Halloween. They pass out candy to children." Like so, that just really stuck out to me like a sore thumb. Kamille Cupcake McKinney was offered to the beast during the time of Halloween rituals and sacrifices are made. Okay, this happened during the time the Halloween rituals and sacrifices are made. Basically, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Now, I got the let's go even deeper, and I jumped to bring it to a wrap, but I'm not sure if I have time to actually do this part right here. I'm going to try to. Just give me a second. Hold on. Look at this clock. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through this part and try to get through it as fast as I can. Let's go even deeper to bring this case to a wrap. It's not much. It's not much. Okay, in the beginning there was the word. There was the word of God. We're going to also end this presentation with the word. So in the beginning, I gave you guys the word, and I'm going to also end this presentation with the word. Okay, here's a picture of Patrick before and after. Okay, so what I mean by before, this was prior to his drug addiction, and right here is after he had became strung out on drugs. Hope I can get through this. Okay, I believe that Patrick Stallworth was once a proud Mason, maybe on his way to the 22 Master Builder status, or he was a 22 Master Builder status on his way to the 33rd. I do not know, but I do believe that he was a proud Mason. Rather than Patrick moving up in his position, he appeared to have fallen into a deep low. He went from having pride in himself to a drug addict. I believe he was faced with conviction, fear, doubt, paranoia, and Satan was not pleased with his works. Drop me a one if you guys follow me. Trying to get through this, but I'm also going to be looking in the chat room. This is important for me to say. That's why I wanted to make sure I added this into this presentation. Once you have pledged your alliance to Satan and the beast, you will eventually reap what you sow. Okay, guys, please understand that. Even if you do, try to give your life to the Lord or ask for repentance, understand that with this world, the way the earth rotates, the way you will reap what you sow. Okay, so all that Patrick did and all that he was, it could not escape him. Okay, rather than turning his life over to Jesus Christ, he turns to heavy drugs, falling deeper into the snares of Satan and the judgment of his brotherhood. I believe that Patrick was also in the same brotherhood and maybe on the same level as Dominic. Okay, but he fell into a deep low on the drugs, using the drugs. But this is something that God really showed me. He wanted me to share with you guys. His very own, his very own God, who he once served, and his brotherhood made him pay the ultimate price for his betrayal in not moving forward. I believe all this came to Patrick because he did not continue in rank, because he did not continue to move forward. I believe that he was betrayed by his brotherhood and by his own God that he once worshipped. And one thing that really stood out to me is when I was looking at another profile picture on his Facebook page, and he representing the beast. And so if you guys notice, I circled the eagle on his hat. I also circled the tiger, and I also circled the word beast. And this is something that really stood out to me, and that's what I wanted to present to y'all. Now I can't end it without showing you guys this. Okay, once you have pledged your allegiance, oh, I already said that. Okay, so if you guys don't know about the eagle, it's a American eagle. Some call it the Masonic eagle, and it looks different ways. Okay, it looks different ways. And sometimes the Bible would say it has four wings, and if you kind of look, the eagle has something out of his mouth on the side of his head or whatever. But this is a American eagle, Masonic eagle, and he also has a tiger, which can also be interpreted as either a tiger, a lion, a leopard, a panther. They all in the same family, okay? And he has the word beast written across his jacket. Okay, so I'm just gonna give y'all a quick breakdown of the eagle, the tiger, and the beast. And like I said, the tiger in some translations you see is called a leopard. In other translations, it's called a panther. I've also seen a translation where it's actually called the tiger. All right. And you guys can look this up if you don't believe me. So in Daniel's and Revelations, in Daniel 7:6, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had until the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast also had four heads, and dominion was given into it. Then Revelation 13:2 says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him great authority, and his seat gave him power, and his seat and great authority. Okay, and so what I wanted to talk to y'all about is thus this beast represents the kingdom. The beast actually represents the kingdoms that will rule the world from the time of Adam until the second coming of Christ. Which in the spirit, this beast is seen as a personality in Revelation 19:20. In the physical, he is represented as different ages throughout the period of human existence and different kingdoms. So even in Daniel, the beast and the descriptions of the beast was a representation of different kingdoms. Okay, and even throughout time, when you see it mentioned again in Revelations 19, the beast represents different ages throughout time of human existence as different kingdoms. Okay, if you guys, I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush it so I can hurry up and leave out of here, but I really wanted to make this point clear to you guys. Okay, so the beast represents, in the description of the beast, represents different kingdoms. All right, so I put right here, the beast represents kingdoms that have been given temporary power to rule the earth and the sea. The kingdoms are ruling the earth with energy and pushing Satan's agenda upon humanity. These Masonic members, as I believe that, like I told you, I believe that Stallworth was a proud Mason. These Masonic members and members of secret societies are workers of inequity. The meaning of inequity. Inequity means gross injustice, wickedness, a wicked act or thing, sin. It is actually below sin, evil doing, evil doers. Okay, and these Masonic people are workers of inequity. Satan's ultimate plan. Satan's ultimate plan is the mark of the beast. We're going to go into that real quick. Yep, I'm going to close this thing up. Satan's ultimate plan, the mark of the beast. The book of Revelation, it reads, let the one with understand reckon the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. His number is 666. Okay? 666 is the numerical mark of the beast. Okay, and I know a lot of people always say, 666 means six protons, six neutrons, six electrons. Exactly, and this is the reason why Satan's mark is 666. Let me explain to y'all. Satan uses man to accomplish his will on earth. Let me say that one more time. Satan uses man to accomplish his will on earth. The number of man is 666. Because Satan knows that man is sin in his natural state. Our sins are like filthy rags to God. Without submission to God the Father and Christ Jesus as our Savior, we will be judged by the law according to God's holy standards. So Satan knows that man is just naturally sinful, and he uses man to accomplish his will and his agendas and his purpose here on earth. 666 is a number that reminds man that he is his own God. Okay, this is a number that reminds man that he is his own God, that he is not under the authority or submission to the Most High God. It is also a number that is an identifier for all those who worship and are under the influence of Satan. This is why 666 is the number of man. This is why the number 666 is the number of man and Satan's numerical mark. Do y'all understand? 666 is Satan's numerical mark. It also says in the Bible that it also causes all, both poor and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, so that's or the number of his name. So it's either the name or the number. The number is 666. The name, which is a whole separate mark of the beast, is called a microchip, RFID chip. That is the name. I'm fooling some of y'all because some of y'all got it so twisted. Y'all think the mark of the beast is just one thing. No, the mark of the beast is a numerical because he told us the number of the beast, and it's also a name. RFID chip. That is the name. This is the physical presence of the mark of the beast. This will also be an identifier for all those who worship and who's under his authority. Satan's many agendas are purposely pushed to govern the people, all of mankind, to be under his mind control and authority. The microchip was offered to criminals as tracking devices. And then it was offered to pets so that if they may get lost, they can easily be found. The chip would also be offered as a means to locating a missing child. And because men have become programmed to Satan's tactics, which is used in major media outlets to report fake news and promote fear, many will have these chips implanted in their children as they already have in their pets. I found a post in one of the Facebook groups where the young lady said, so we put GPS monitor systems on criminals. We also microchip our beloved pets. Why not microchip our children with the GPS chip? See how they saying it, calling it GPS chip? It ain't no GPS chip. It's an RFID chip. She's saying, how about we implant our children with these from the time that they are born? So that we do not have to wonder about their whereabouts. So we can locate our missing child. This is all a part of Satan's plan, you guys. Satan's planned agendas are excuses to push state legislations to pass laws all across the nation for the mandatory implanting of the RFID chip, which is why we are seeing all of these missing persons cases today. Just as vaccinations, the RFID chip will one day be mandatory for your child to attend public school. The Bible also tells us that without the physical mark or the numerical mark, made known to the state government that a person will not be able to partake in commerce, meaning the person will not be able to buy or sell without the mark being known to that person. This will be a penalty for refusing to receive the mark, for refusing to be under the authority and worship of Satan. Men have already sold out, or in other words, sold their souls to Satan with sacrifices, as we see in today, and as we see with this case, in exchange for monetary gain and that they may have longevity. By now, everyone should know that Satan's ultimate plan is to take as many souls to hell with him as possible. He's moving rapidly on this earth because he knows his time is short. Therefore, submit yourself unto the Lord Jesus Christ, who have given himself a ransom to all men that he might be saved. And ye be watchmen. Now when these things begin to take place, straighten up and raise up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. Luke 21:28. I'm out. Love you guys. Oh, I have another piece. Uh-oh. I almost forgot about this. Oh, forgot about this. Be watchmen and know when you guys see this, know your redemption is near. Look up. Look up. What I wanted to end this with, oh shoot. Let me do this real quick. Why is Walmart seen partaking in all of these events? Okay, why is Walmart sponsoring all these events? Just as they sponsor in the Kamille Cupcake event. And whenever I see cases like this and I see Walmart sponsoring these cases or Walmart being attached to these cases, I already know what time it is. And we spoke about Walmart earlier, and we saw Walmart logo in the Ricky Smiley's post. Okay, this is why right here. I want you guys to look at this picture. Understand that Walmart will become FEMA camps. People are not just saying this. Walmart will turn into FEMA camps where people will have to purchase food supplies. And also it would be, do you see the sign at the bottom? Mandatory vaccinations, mandatory RFID chip implants. This will be mandatory. So you guys, they are going to push a law where RFID chips will be mandatory for your child, so your child will be located if she goes missing. This stuff, all of this stuff that's happening in this world today is happening for a purpose, and don't let nobody tell you different. I got to get out of here. I love you guys. When I come on Friday, I'm doing a live Friday, and I will be having the mother, a woman that I just feel is so amazing. And I'm going to share this with you guys now. I'm going to have Kendrick Johnson's mother, Jackie Johnson. She's going to come on and she's going to interview with us, you guys, on Friday afternoon. I'm going to go live with Kendrick Johnson's mother. She's going to share us to y'all the story of her son. She's going to speak to us about Kendrick Johnson's case. And I'm going to be working behind the scenes one-on-one with the mother of Jackie Johnson. I love you guys. I got to get out of here. Peace be with you. I'll see you guys on Friday.